What is going on, everybody? It is episode 288 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name's Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, crisis actors. It's Mary. Nobody is getting accidentally pushed down the stairs today because Hannah Claire is in the building. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for the sweet, threatening welcome, Pop Culture Crisis. I really like it. I'm Hannah Claire Bremlo. I'm a writer for timcast.com, and I'm glad to be back with both of you.
And guest host on Slightly Offensive recently.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to be on with Elijah Schaefer to talk about some of the work that I'm doing right now to cover the Proud Boy trials in D.C.
Oh. Sounds like fun, doesn't it, guys? Like,
I wouldn't say I was a co-host, though.
Yeah.
Elijah might be like, simmer down over there.
Helping out on an episode. Guys, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. Madonna is predictably being predictable once again. She doesn't know how to do anything other than rail against something that hasn't really been in power for like the last 30 years. She's an edgelord, really. She's like an 80 zillion-year-old edgelord. So we're going to talk about this photo shoot that she had. We're going to tie it in with some stuff with Jamie Lee Curtis and all of these other things, because I had a question that I want to talk about that I posted on Twitter the other day that's kind of the basis for that topic today. We're also going to talk about Beyonce. We talked about Beyonce yesterday. We're going to talk about Beyonce again 2 days in a row. She performed in Dubai, and now you get to see where globalist entertainment meets modern day identity politics as they run headlong into one another, and then everybody starts arguing. We will also talk about Mark Hamill. Once again, you can't do anything on the internet without angering someone. He had the temerity, there's that word again. He had the audacity, the temerity, the gall to like a tweet of J.K. Rowling's, and as we know, that is a no-no in society these days. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about my favorite new method of promoting some type of book or piece of media you're releasing. That's by accusing someone else of doing something wrong. In this case, Pamela Anderson has accused Tim Allen of flashing her 20,000 years ago on the first day of Home Improvement. Okay.
Wasn't that long ago, in the 90s.
It was, it
was a different time.
Hey, that's my favorite excuse. Hey, it was a different time. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a couple of other things after that. But before we get into it, would you please like this video, leave comments on this video, subscribe to this channel. If you have not done so already, the channel's been growing very, very fast, and it's been a pleasure to watch. So please like it, share it with your friends, and have them come and join to watch us rag on celebrities. Everyone enjoys that, right? Also, I do need to point out, I was wrong yesterday. I'm offering my own mea culpa here when we talked about Tidal Wave Comics. Apparently there is in fact an Amy Coney Barrett and a Betty White comic from them, as well as a Ketanji Brown Jackson comic. So they responded to me on Twitter. They gave me that response. Depending on how your mood, you might interpret the tone a little bit differently, but they weren't wrong. I don't think they caught the purpose of what I was talking about, which is like the Britney Griner comic is stupid. But the idea was like, we joked about like, why isn't there an Amy Coney Barrett one? Why isn't there a Betty White one? There is one of both. So,
was it not immediately evident when you looked at the Female Force line on their website? Yep.
So we will talk, or we're not going to talk about that. That's just me offering my, I was wrong. So that does exist. If you guys are ready, we can just get right into Cringe of the Day, because today is a special one. Are you ready to get into Cringe of the Day, Mary?
I'm ready.
Hannah Claire?
Oh, I'm ready.
I like this one because I found this is actually like what I would like to think of as like a tag team effort for Cringe of the Day. Meaning I found the first part, and then Mary in like 3 seconds.
I made it so much worse.
She made it so much worse than I could have ever imagined. So this is what I found initially. And I really do mean it's creepy. So this is Kate Hudson's activewear ripped over leggings that expose your bare butt.
I saw
Look,
this.
okay.
What's ridiculous about this is she played an influencer in Glass Onion that had an activewear and loungewear brand that used child slaves to produce it. And now she has an equally stupid activewear brand in real life.
To be fair, she's had the activewear brand for a long time. It's just becoming more stupid.
The part I thought funniest about this is like, this is just days after that whole mishgas with the lady at the gym with the camera. And
I wanted to talk about that for Cringe of the Day, but I don't know. I feel like we'd stay on it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, like the lady who posted the video of herself at the gym. And
this guy's staring at me, and I feel like the guy's like, Am I going to be able to use those weights?
Well, he's like, why is this person like
Her
talking to himself?
Her phone is freaking gigantic, and it's probably recording him, and he's looking at his own reflection.
Gosh, sorry, he exists in the gym.
And so she's like, she's wearing these leggings. She's like, why are they staring at me?
Gosh.
Oh, I have no idea.
Horrible.
Why would they be staring at you?
That girl's like, I don't like being sexualized, and she has an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I'm like, team, I don't know what to say.
But
I mean, these leggings are both terrible and ugly. You know what I mean?
They look so uncomfortable as well.
They look uncomfortable. They're not flattering.
It's
also,
giving
like,
butt floss.
I don't understand. Like, where are you wearing these to? You're like at the gym? ? You're with your children. You're like relaxing at home. Like, they're too weird to be lingerie. Like, I absolutely don't understand who the market is, except for like the girl who's taking like the one Instagram picture in them, right? And then at that point, you're just encouraging fast fashion, which like I thought all celebrities were trying to save the planet.
Ha. Gotcha.
It's but guys, it gets so much worse.
Guys, Lizzo wore them.
It gets so much worse. If you have heart problems, blind yourself easily, or in any way scared by unbelievably scary imagery, please avert your eyes for the next few seconds. We are going to look.
Lizzo wore
Yes.
There's even a video. Are we going to play the
video? I'm
video?
not playing the video.
That's too traumatizing.
That's too much. So there you go, guys.
Actually, this is from her own.
That's even worse
than
it is
own
fast
shapewear
fashion.
line called Yitty.
Because Yitty is owned. Like, they say it's her own, but it's actually under the umbrella that Fabletics is, which is what Kate Hudson owns.
Oh,
so like they're actually all being manufactured by the same people. We're just putting different celebrity faces on them.
I turned it off, guys. I only left it on there for a few seconds. Now I can threaten people. I'm like, don't you dare! Don't you dare!
People are having a seizure.
Yes, guys. Also,
I don't understand. Like, why would you wear those?
It's so unflattering.
Because they're not, like, no one would look good in those, and they're weird.
She's also wearing them with stilettos.
Well, sure. Because you don't know how to style these leggings because they're so stupid. This is like when there was a year that at Coachella everyone wore chaps and had their butts out. And you want to be like,
I wish I could unsee James Charles's bare ass
just like
from that year at Coachella.
Why?
The poor chat. They're so mad at me right now. They're so mad at me that
blame me. Don't blame Brett.
This is honest journalism. We just have to move forward with it.
Weaponized Lizzo. That's.
We're just uncovering the truth, guys.
Wow, I'm sorry black women's bodies offend you.
Yeah. I'm sorry you're so fat phobic that you can't accept that.
Exactly. All right, guys, now that I have sufficiently ruined all of your days, remember, if you would like to ruin Hannah Claire's day, you can super chat in. She has not heard the new Crisis Party sound effect yet, so if you'd like to suitably terrorize her with the new Crisis Party sound effect, please join in doing
it's
so.
It's intense.
At least this time I showed up with a coffee cup that has a lid. Normally I have it and like have to cover it as like money flies.
Crucial.
Yeah. All right, guys. So yesterday I had a question. I posted on Insta. I'm sorry, I posted on Twitter, and it was a legitimate question that I wanted to ask people. Where I said, it says, is Hollywood filled with demonic people pretending to be lame artsy edgelords, or is it filled with lame artsy edgelords pretending to be demonic? I thought of this because it was the Jamie Lee Curtis thing that we talked about the other day, right, Mary? Mm-hmm. Like, we talked about that, but now I have actual questions. If you guys have not seen this is Madonna releases disturbing photo shoot with Vanity Fair featuring dead babies and references to the occult. These are the pictures. Paul Joseph Watson posted them. Yes. A bunch of other people posted them. We will look at them really quick. So
here she is wearing pieces of baby dolls that are decapitated and have their limbs severed into a corset-like structure around her body, and she's screaming at the camera. In other photos, she is dressed like a version of Jesus at a blasphemous mockery of the Last Supper around a bunch of half-naked women wearing Burger King crowns. And in other photos, she is imitating the Virgin Mary. Like in the Vanity Fair cover for this feature, she is dressed up as Our Lady of Sorrows with this the sorrowful heart medallion on her, and she is doing what Madonna has been known to do, which is use Catholic imagery to mock the religion, but use it to sell her products and her songs.
30 years later, Mom, it's definitely not a phase.
I mean, it's giving like wannabe edgelord, just like we said in our thumbnail.
Yeah.
And this hasn't been cool for so long.
No.
Obviously, since I'm Catholic, I am offended by this as it makes a mockery of my religion. But I think what's more important, if we're talking about it from a pop culture perspective, is like, you're not cool.
I'm offended by the 30 years lack of creativity. The fact that
everyone's done this.
That you're not railing against something different in 30 years. Your life is just boring.
It's just like worn out at this point. I mean, the UK government just agreed that Demi Lovato's cover, which is like holy whatever.
That.
Like that idea that we're like, oh, to show that we're bad and we're so provocative, we're going to mock Christianity or specifically the Roman Catholic Church. And I think part of that's just because they have such an ornate kind of tradition. There's more structure. There's more recognizable imagery. I just don't think that like Madonna, like wearing baby dolls is both disgusting, but also like you look older and older all the time. Like you're wearing a corset, you have your boobs up to wherever, and you're never going to become the sex symbol you think you were at one time. Why are you doing this? Like, age gracefully, put some pants on, and like leave the baby dolls alone.
She has drastically altered her appearance with plastic surgery, and she's just filled to the brim with fillers, and she can't accept that she is a has-been. And is clinging to this urge to offend or to scandalize, and it's not working because we don't live in the culture in which Madonna first rose to stardom anymore.
And she'll do anything to try and stay relevant. Wasn't there like she posted some TikTok video, which, by the way, which one of her assistants had to be like, TikTok is this thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Drink
like,
from this water bowl on the floor.
Super, she like does her weird bath things.
The bath thing's weird.
No. She had her like, she's like, if I miss, I'm gay. And she like threw a pair of underwear near a like trash can or something, and then was like, is she coming out as gay, or is she just trying to co-opt gay culture so that she can seem relevant? Like, this person is so desperate for attention. You have so much money. Just fade away. Do something else. You know what I mean?
People called it daring and thought-provoking, to which I say, daring in what way and what question? Like, I'm legitimately asking the question, what thoughts does it provoke?
Was it daring and thought-provoking when every other mainstream celebrity did it at the Met Gala, did it on their album cover?
40 years ago, it might have been daring and thought-provoking.
It would be daring and thought-provoking today if she did it for, I don't know, the Mormon church, Judaism.
The first thing I thought it was
Islam,
now do Islam.
Maybe even of atheism.
If she did Islam or atheism, I would like then be like, yes, interesting, bold choice, Madonna.
But that actually would be a dangerous artistic decision.
Right. This is actually safe. No, like obviously I feel terrible about this, but like everyone mocks the Catholics. Like, y'all are an easy target.
There's nothing more annoying than a bunch of wannabe edgelords who then claim that they're fighting the system when they're not fighting any system that's been in power since the Reagan administration.
Which wasn't even Catholicism, by the way. In America, Catholicism was never the status quo. It was a Protestant Anglo-Saxon regime.
It was a huge deal when JFK got elected because he was the first Catholic president, and they had to actually ask him, like, but if you're president, like, are you going to take orders from the Pope?
Right, exactly.
Like, that was not that long ago.
Who are you rebelling against? And the front for this is always, I'm pushing back against the way that the Catholic Church and Christianity in general has also repressed my sexuality as a woman.
Did she grow up Catholic? Like, what ties does she have to the Catholic Church to decide that she's the one to mock it? You know what I mean?
Her biological, her actual name is Madonna. Like, her legal name is
Congratulations to her.
I'm saying, like, it's been part of her life for a long time. So
because she changed
she's
it to that.
By the way,
it means my lady, which is a term that has only been used to refer to the Virgin Mary. And she has been doing this edgelord nonsense since the beginning of her career.
The part I find the most insulting is, like, if you want to, like, bash on Christianity because you don't like Christianity, fine, but at least say that that's your stated goal. Don't say it's because you're being brave and standing up for something, because you're not being brave and standing up for something that has you're not risking anything. There's not a single thing that will be risked by doing this. This is approved by every art director, every producer, every studio exec there is. There isn't a person who's like, okay, Let's have a hypothetical discussion where she's at Vanity Fair. They're like, we're going to give you this cover for this Icons issue. And she's like, ooh, I've got this really, really crazy idea. Let's mock the Catholic Church. And they're like, whatever.
Madonna?
How will
Madonna
we stand
would
the
never.
backlash
do you know
if
that,
we
like,
do that?
the Devil Wears Prada quote florals for spring. How groundbreaking. Like, mocking the Catholic Church in public. How groundbreaking, Madonna.
Especially in Italy.
Now it reminds me of like when Obama wore the was it like colors before spring or something like that? He wore like a white
he wore white,
a khaki suit or something when he wasn't supposed to. Like you're just pushing back on something, and all of this time the real creepy stuff is left in the backdrop, and that's her stuff with the charity in Malawi. Is it Malawi
in South Africa.
In South Africa, where she has 4 kids that are adopted from, and the Ethiopian.
But she didn't have to comply with any of the rules for.
The Ethiopian World Foundation has asked the president to restrict adoptions from there because there's just too much of a risk that celebrities are going to use them for nefarious purposes.
No, I mean, this was a big deal in the early 2000s. When, I think it's Mercy James is her daughter who she adopted. Like, you're supposed to live in, I don't remember which country her daughter's from, but you're supposed to live there for a year. Yeah. Right? And like this is true for a lot of African countries. Like when you're adopting, you need to spend significant time there. It's a huge sacrifice, especially for families that already have children. And Madonna is like, no worries. Well, suddenly she has a baby, and that baby's family is like, no, we didn't want her to go. Like
she hasn't followed the rules on any of her adoptions from Malawi. One of them has an estranged father who claims he was told he would get his child back eventually, but she planned on deceiving him and keeping the child. And then there's a set of twins that have family members saying the same thing, like saying they thought we were going to send our child to a rich white woman's home in America to get an education, and then they would be brought back to the family.
And she's just like, psych, I'm not bringing them back. No takesy backsies.
What if she did hit this cover, but it was all about international kidnapping? Right. That would have been daring and provocative.
I mean, the timing is certainly interesting. And also, the Ethiopian World Federation is saying that her first adopted son, David Banda, I believe, is being used by her for basically like social conditioning, and she's doing social experimentation on her adoptees that is like, I don't know, indoctrinating them with this like gender goblin stuff. Like I said gender goblin yesterday and everyone was like, oh my gosh.
It's the same thing that Angelina Jolie.
But it's true.
They're literal purse puppies.
She's like dressing her son in dresses and heels and makeup.
Yeah. I will say, I think Angelina Jolie, I have no evidence that she didn't comply with literal law to adopt her children, right? Like,
sure.
Madonna is so sketchy. It gets weirder. And the weird thing was, when it was happening, everyone was like, I don't know that you're allowed to do that. And then anyways, 20 years later,
she's just allowed to do it.
She's allowed to do it.
She filed an appeal in 2009, and then the court allowed her to adopt her daughter anyways. So then she got away with that, and then she got away with adopting 2 more after that in 2017.
Also, like, didn't her biological daughter, like, get... I could be totally wrong in this, emancipated when she was pretty young. Like, they were living... I thought Madonna was based in London, and her daughter was, like, very famously living in New York, and she's maybe a model or something now. But, like, I remember the time being like, wow, you really fled your mom's house immediately.
Jacob Edler is right, guys. If you have not yet liked this video, please like this video. We are at 500 watching and only 140 likes. So please like this video. I want to read one more quote from the Evie article. Evie is like... am I the only guy in America who considers Evie like a important reading? I love Evie.
Evie's glad great. You got put on to Evie.
Yes. This is an article. I'm gonna go here really quick. It says Madonna's 1992 book titled "Sex" was cited in the petition. They're talking about the petition with the president of Malawi, which features adult content, softcore porn, and sadomasochism. Pornographic content and LGBTQ conduct is punishable by law in the country of Malawi. Gay porn stars were photographed in pornographic pictures with Madonna performing vulgar sex acts with the same sex, which should have been disclosed during her adoption case in 2006. It says, Madonna continues, she had to sign a contract that forbade the book from including images of child pornography, bestiality, or religious imagery. Shortly after signing this agreement, Madonna founded a company called Maverick, a partnership with Time Warner. She now holds total artistic control over any work released by Maverick, who is now the book's publisher. The agreement she signed with Time Warner with the sexually explicit material in the book was null and void. The petition argues that the psychology behind Madonna's ability to release child pornography, religious imagery, bestiality, and vulgar pornography has prompted her to open an orphanage in Malawi, Raising Malawi in 2006. That was the name of the orphanage, to host social experiments on vulnerable African children in Malawi. How about this? At the very least, like, shouldn't the idea here be like hedge your bets? Like, in a world full of people to adopt your children to, maybe you don't adopt them to the person who's releasing books and material that could in some way endanger children.
That's not necessarily being disclosed to these parents, right?
Yes.
Also, like, if you're growing up in an extremely impoverished country, you have a child that you have the opportunity to give to someone who has more wealth than you could even imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, wouldn't you feel obligated to?
You almost feel coerced into saying yes.
Right. I can't imagine.
any
Don't these people love to talk about power dynamics? Like, what about the power dynamics of something like this?
Madonna's track record, to me, reeks of narcissistic entitlement, posing as charitable outreach and altruism, and she's getting away with it because she is a rich white woman.
Yep.
Like, that's the affluent, that quintessential affluent white liberal female that gets away with doing whatever she wants in a foreign country because it can pose as her altruism and doing good for the needy.
The altruism gives them a shield against anything that they may choose to do.
I haven't seen any major pushback on this. And just because she does an interview like this, where she talks about feminism, inclusion, the artist she loves and follows, plans for the future, free expression, and her eternal struggle with patriarchal culture. She gets away with it.
The buzzwords, dude.
Yeah.
The amount of buzzwords in one paragraph.
She's trying to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Anything to get this generated to go into a Google search and come up as relevant to anyone who's looking it up, right?
And in this type of imagery between Madonna, then there's also the Jamie Lee Curtis thing, right?
Jamie Lee Curtis recently posted a photo from one of her offices that was just, totally benign, right? She was talking about the chairs she got from a movie set. And she didn't think that anyone would take notice of the framed photo on the wall of a naked child stuffed into a plastic bin.
My favorite part is, I was like, did she not think anyone would notice, or is she so
That's my question.
past this that she's like, I don't see what's weird about
That's
it?
what we were talking about earlier.
I think she's so conditioned to think that it's normal that she does not, that she has a reasonable explanation for why that's art in her mind, and she could not imagine a world where regular people who work 9-to-5 jobs who could never understand this kind of thing would ask questions. This is why I asked the question. I say, is Hollywood demonic people, or is it LARPers pretending to be demonic because they're LARPers?
And does it matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, arguably, it's probably both. And if you invoke something dark because you believe in it, it can have the same effect as invoking it just because you think it makes you seem edgy and cool.
And
right?
I think the end result ends up being that on the back end, it is actually demonic producers and the people with the money behind it who are fronted by useful idiot LARPers who do whatever they're told for the sake of cool art design, bro, just pay me my money. Well, so either way, you end up in the same place.
Think about Jamie Lee Curtis, right? Do we think she decorates her own offices? I think she has an interior designer, right? So maybe she got her chairs from whatever movie set, but ultimately someone else is spending her money. Someone else is like, I got this cool art for your office. Maybe she did personally see that art somewhere and was like, I must have that child in a box on my wall. Mm-hmm. But
seems weird to me, but
more than likely someone else was like, these are the options for your home. And she was like, I think that's a great choice. Interior designer, great kid in the box,
but
right?
To even be complicit with it and not be disturbed by imagery like that just shows how insulated this culture is.
And what's to Brett's point, maybe Jamie Lee Curtis is just dumb and is like, I don't see a problem with that because she's so desensitized to it. She's still invoking something dark, whereas there's someone else possibly who selected that on purpose. They are operating in, complicitly.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice,
right?
Awakening a power that they can't control.
So it's not LARPing or Satanism in all authenticity. It's both and working together. Mm-hmm. And then the consequence is kind of the same thing anyway. So the distinction ends up not mattering as much.
Yeah, in the end, we end up in the same place.
Right.
Nothing is ever actually
And I called Madonna's photoshoot Balenciaga 2.0. Maybe it's not as severely in your face about it, but I mean, these are disembodied baby dolls. It's the same thing. They're art nerds who think it's dope. Okay, they think it's dope. Yeah. And they're forcing it onto us, and we're just supposed to think that it's high fashion and high art that we as peasants could never understand.
We're literally supposed to just be like, oh, I guess I don't get it. I'm not high class like them, so I guess I just don't understand. Which is even more insulting, somehow. Even more insulting.
Yeah.
So, let's go Super Chats.
All right. Caper2X said, Leroy Jenkins, make mine Marvel. Hi, Hannah Claire.
There we go. Leroy Jenkins is back. Chris Bertman will be happy to hear about that.
Hello.
Bad App said, in the 2000s, we used to pull... Oh,
I don't know if you want to read that one.
Nah. Potatoes for Seamus said, Hannah Claire, how did you like the next Fast and Furious? Also, hi Heidi, I mean Hannah Claire. Mary and Brett, I mean Ben. Also, we want Brett's skate montages with Seamus. Seamus doesn't skate, though.
No, but there was a fantastic
really
episode of Cast Castle where he proved that he could, and the person doing the tricks was wearing an enormous helmet and happened to be like a foot shorter.
Yeah.
But we're just not, just like with Madonna, we're not going to ask any questions.
I don't know what you're suggesting, that Seamus would fake his own stunts.
Would he do that?
Absolutely not.
What would be the upside to that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I haven't watched the next Fast and Furious. I have reached 5.
2 last time you earned a week off.
We'll see.
Okay. Perturbed Alpaca said, bet none of these British cigarettes would dare mock.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do. It's Islam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Islam?
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't, because that would actually take some courage. Marcos said, Brett, Mary, and Hannah Claire, who is your favorite character bear? Yogi, Smokey, Snuggles, etc.
There's
question.
There's a great meme that's like it's something about Yogi Bear's cousin and says only he can stop communism or something like that, and he's got like a rifle. Whichever one that one is the one I like the most.
Is Yogi Bear a communist?
I think they're saying Smokey the Bear's cousin is the one who stops communism.
Because Smokey the Bear stops forest fires.
Yes.
Yeah, but Yogi steals from people. He tries to redistribute their resources.
No, just
himself,
petty
though.
theft. I think they mentioned on IRL last night, they said that Robin Hood was not a socialist because he stole from people who overtaxed. I never thought of it that harshly, but I will be taking that assumption when we watch Robin Hood with the Y, with the girl from the rap group who's playing Robin Hood. About
robbing the hood.
Yeah, like it's literally about a girl named Robin Hood who's a rapper who like is also a Robin Hood.
Someone said Cocaine Bear.
He's the best. Clearly.
Definitely Cocaine Bear is at the top of my list right now.
Actually, no, I'm changing.
Or Mr. Fluffykins.
I'm changing my answer. Bear is the name of the Belgian Malinois that they have in the show Person of Interest.
Wow.
So I'm going to go with Bear the dog from that show.
Amazing segue to talk about Person of Interest.
I always find a way.
Benjamin Mauser said Hollywood is just chasing what they think is hip, and it's either old and tired like Madonna or it's gotten creepy and groomer-like. They haven't had anything new in years now. Wash, rinse, repeat with woke ideas.
Well, then, look, if they actually still think it's cool, are they still, like, using flip phones and pagers? Have you ever seen that meme about, like, it's like when Kelly Rowland sent a text via, like Microsoft Paint or something like that, or
Didn't
like
someone
or
do,
Excel
like,
in her
spreadsheet
music video?
Yeah. She sends a text. She sends like a 2-way page with Excel spreadsheet or something. It's good times. Like they're just stuck in that, like a time period so long ago. All those producers were so coked out in the 80s and the 90s that they're literally brain dead. And all of Hollywood since 2000 has been just a huge cocaine fueled fever dream. If that's the case, I can get behind it.
No, I think it's
Let's go.
I think it's just that we've found the wall, right? We have found the things that Hollywood is not okay with alleged art commenting on, right?
Well, then they need to stop bragging about how they're stunning and brave. I'm so sick of stunning and brave.
But if
you're
they
not
say
stunning and brave.
If they say it enough,
Neither
maybe
stunning
you'll
nor
believe
brave.
them.
Yeah. You're neither stunning.
It'd be one
nor
thing if
brave.
you were stunning but not brave, or if you were brave but not stunning, but you are neither.
You could say
Please
that.
stop.
Is Lizzo brave but not stunning? And then
I mean, I would say someone like Emily Ratatouille is stunning but not brave.
Yeah.
Who's brave but not stunning?
Guys, who's brave but not stunning?
Let us know.
Somebody who's like
Chat.
they say something, they've really spoken up, but they're just not all that great looking or something. I have no idea.
Someone brought up Bear Grylls as their favorite bear.
Yes.
Solid.
Suspicious how often he needs to drink his own pee, though.
He finds a way.
Perturbed Alpaca said, literally can't type the Abrahamic religion that is not Christian or Jewish. Interesting. Caper2X said, Mary, have you read St. Tommy, NYPD Catholic Horror Series by Declan Finn? Solid faith in the fight against evil, very pro-life. I recommend it. I have not read that, but I'll look at it. Thanks.
This is a ridiculous segue, but Declan is on my name if I ever on my list if I ever have kids.
Declan's
Oh, you have a list?
I have that name and like
Okay.
one other.
Cool.
So when your siblings had kids, you're like, back off that name.
Basically,
I getcha.
yeah.
You're honoring an Irish ancestry that you don't have.
That I don't have. I just like the name. Let's hold off.
Move on?
Let's move on. We're gonna move on, guys. All right. So Beyonce's back in the news 2 days in a row with Beyonce news. Who would have thought that was even
yesterday
possible?
we were just debating whether Beyonce is actually likable or if people just use being her fan as a personality trait.
Yes. I think a little bit of both. So it says Beyonce divides fans with Dubai Atlantis Royal Live Show. They're mad at her because she decided to perform in Dubai. You're not allowed to perform in Dubai if you're somebody who's pro LGBTQ.
Well, it's interesting because this is the first time she's performed live in a while. She's kind of fallen off. She got $24 million for it. They're unveiling this new luxury hotel there, which when I think of Dubai, I only think of luxury hotels and resorts.
Literally high rises.
There's nobody that actually lives there. You can't convince me it's anything but a resort town. So she got $24 million for this. Knowing that Beyonce, of course, has an astronomical net worth, some people are questioning this, like, damn, did you really need the money that badly that you would go against the principles you claim to have as an ally of the LGBT community?
Right, and I think it's more so because her latest album, Renaissance, is supposed to be like a tribute to like Black culture and LGBT culture. So like presumably, I mean, if you're getting paid $24 million, maybe you're just performing all of your biggest hits and you don't care about the album. But a lot of people will perform their most recent stuff.
When WWE does Saudi Arabia, they always bring back the old wrestlers because everyone in Saudi Arabia wants to see the dudes that were popular in the 90s. They don't necessarily care as much about the modern hits. Even in this picture here, she's got you said it's got the halo imagery?
It's the same composition and vibe of all of those Madonna photos.
She's got the song,
They're
Halo.
they're using the same imagery on all of these celebrities. It's very tired. It's very ordinary.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like any of these celebrities have creative control anymore. They're just handing it off to all the same art directors that went to the same schools. See,
this is my favorite thing. Look, you're allowed to break the rules of modern progressivism as long as it makes you a crap ton of money. So that's fine. You're allowed to do that.
No, as long as you're Beyonce.
Yeah,
because Beyonce is beyond reproach.
Yes.
The entire media industrial complex will try to ruin your life if you so much as claim that you don't like Beyonce that much.
But when they talk about, look, it's fine. I'm an ally. Like, I don't think that Beyonce or these producers or anyone who invokes the language of like what you call being an LGBTQ ally, I don't think they understand the gravity of the monster they've created. Fandom. I don't think they understand it. I don't think they realize that to you, it's a marketing ploy. Do I think that Beyonce gives two craps at all when she's done with work at the end of the day about LGBTQ this or that? No, I can't say that I do. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But I'm cynical in that you've turned it into a marketing ploy. It's something that you can make money off of. They do not understand that to the people that are consuming this content, they're not making money. They're spending money. If they're spending money at all, it's 110% ideological. They don't have an interest in you as a person. They have an interest in what you as Beyonce offer their movement as far as forward momentum.
Yeah, and if she were such a hardcore, I'm going to produce an album that's supposedly off of this like specific culture, if she was so devoted to this cause, wouldn't she just opt not to make the money? I actually am like, if you want to make $24 million and theoretically compromise your values, like that's your call. But she didn't need the money, right? She's not in like dire straits.
That's the annoying part.
And like, let's remember, so when Hungary was supposed to host the Soccer World Cup a couple years ago, people were like, boycott Hungary. They won't let like LGBTQ advertisements. They won't let the pride flag there. Like, no one should be going there. No company should be working with this country.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when Beyonce does it, the first thing is, well, you shouldn't have made the money, but she shouldn't have booked the gig at all, theoretically, if these were her values. Yeah. And if you don't care about compromising your values, the money is more important to you.
But they pretend to have values constantly. If anything, I mentioned a quote.
I want to be cynical here and predict that like this will be like, how dare she? And then it'll blow over. Nothing's going to happen to Beyonce.
No, nothing will happen.
She doesn't respond to anything anyway, which is probably the smart move.
It's a fair move. The other part is like, it's not like she has groveled and been like, oh, well, I'll donate half of my multi-million dollars to
Well, that's even worse. That's even more annoying when they're like, look, we'll let it slide as long as you donate all of the proceeds to a charity of our choice.
Well, there's a totem pole to this, right? I think that as Beyonce, the status that gives you, and the status it gives you to be a black woman in the entertainment industry, you're above the white gay males who idolize you on that totem pole of oppression.
But what about the black gay males that she's theoretically
paying tribute to? It's hard to tell. I mean, you can't really follow these things, but there's a symbiotic relationship that I think exists between female performers like Beyonce and largely gay male audiences that I think that the gay male fans of Beyonce have more bestowed this label of an ally on Beyonce than Beyonce has ever actively asked to be regarded that way. Yeah. So
I mean, I don't know if that's true because in her marketing material for Renaissance, she was specifically talking about how she was inspired by this community.
Dude, but I
mean, to me, if you are a part of this,
after the fact.
Yeah.
But that's part of her marketing strategy, which she consents to, right? Like,
sure.
I get that, like, she is playing it like, oh, well, it's not like I'm super out there, but I am out there. She is theoretically profiting off of this subculture of humanity that she is potentially recognizing she's trying to pay tribute to. She is not abiding by any moral code. I am not surprised, right? I don't really believe that she's super into this, but she is presenting herself.
Freelance music artist Abigail Firth tells BBC Newsbeat Beyonce's recent work is indebted to LGBTQ culture. Look, recent work, sure. Her fame and fortune are not indebted to anything other than normies. You do not reach that level of success through niche cultures.
It's like we were saying, the NPCs just have a software update that says they have to idolize Beyonce and all of, like, certain celebrities. They're just beyond reproach. You have to celebrate them in all contexts.
They almost insult her. They say, it seems like a really misguided choice from her. It's not misguided. She looked at a spreadsheet. She said, how much will I lose making these people angry versus the $24 million I will make performing this concert? And just like WWE, who starts the women's revolution and makes women's wrestling extremely popular, then goes to Saudi Arabia where all of the women have to wear literal clothes that cover every inch of their body, despite the fact that they never have to do that when they're here in America. The money always comes first. Always.
I would say that the relationship between pop stars, specifically female pop stars, and gay culture is interesting because you do hear that like Madonna's song Vogue is often linked specifically to New York City nightclubs where there's a lot of like LGBTQ communities, right? And like that is supposed to be this anthem for whatever. Lady Gaga, when she was getting big, had Born This Way, which became sort of the modern equivalent of Vogue, right? For the new generation of gay people, I guess. Beyonce, in some ways, I think with Renaissance, I've always felt like her team was trying to be like us too. Katy Perry has a similar, like, you'll hear like, oh, I don't remember, Firework. Sometimes people are like, that's an LGBTQ anthem. Like,
it's a bit of a stretch.
I don't think so, but like
they just take stuff and make it theirs.
And
it's like that Ralphie May skit. They just take stuff and make it theirs.
I would go one thing further and say, like, sometimes you hear this, like when in real estate, if you work in real estate development, every once in a while you hear like that a neighborhood is turning around, and it's tongue in cheek, but like when gay couples start to move in, right? Because gay couples tend to not. A lot of them don't have kids, so like they're not looking for a place that has really good public schools. They are looking places that they think are cool and hip and up and coming. And so it's obviously not a complete rule, but it's this idea that like when you start to see gay couples, gay people, gay nightclubs coming into areas, it's actually the first wave of gentrification. And so I think for female pop stars especially, being able to be like, but I am cool with gay people, they like me, is a way to say like, I am still relevant, I am part of today's culture. Because there is this idea that like gay communities dictate trends, basically. And you see this replicated in fashion, you'll see it all over the place, but I think it is sort of a slap into the face if you were theoretically obviously I'm not a part of it, so I can't say what it's like to feel like, oh, my pop icon Beyonce is recognizing this big part of my life and now also taking money from someone else.
Then we need to stop attaching so much of our identity to celebrities who don't give a crap about us.
Well, we were talking about stan culture yesterday, and I said, Gen Z, which populates stan Twitter, uses celebrities in a different way than it appears. They idolize them in order to topple them over later. It's a ritualistic, cyclical process. They are idolizing them and putting them on a pedestal precisely in order to find a reason to push them off of it and degrade them later on. So I think there's maybe something similar happening here, where if they can fabricate some story of betrayal between the idol and the fans.
Story of betrayal.
Yeah. I mean, that's how bored people are. That's the thing. Like, this is how bored people who work at Starbucks are. that they will fabricate a story of betrayal from their idol, Beyonce. That they were wronged and victimized
We're going to talk about it more in the Mark Hamill.
By something that happened across the globe that didn't affect them in any way.
We're going to talk about the Mark Hamill one, too, because some of the responses are hilariously bonkers. So the other thing here is, like, look, it's globalism every time runs headlong into Western identity politics.
And we need to figure out which is more important to us.
To us, which I don't know.
I hate both.
Is there? It's not my choice. Really an answer. I also want to know. So is she? It's okay to break from your allies in certain cases. So it's okay to break from your allies for $24 million because it's not a Western culture. But what if she wanted to break from her allies to perform at a Trump rally? Would she be allowed to do that? Can she perform single ladies at a Trump rally? I would pay to go see Donald Trump do his weird like dance where he like his arms are locked and he doesn't move his feet and he dances like this to Single Ladies by Beyonce.
Do you think Barron Trump is like, come on, Dad, let's do a TikTok
No,
dance?
they'd be more likely to invite Taylor Swift. I know that he loves Bad Blood. That video of him riding in the car with Melania and Barron listening to Bad Blood is always going to be burnt into my neurons.
Go listen to...
Also, she must freak out seeing that video. She's like, make it turn it
off! There's a YouTuber named Maestro Zikos who does nothing but songs in which he creates them with Donald Trump. He literally clips thousands of Donald Trump interviews.
There was a guy who did that with Obama and stuff, too, and he's saying that they had Obama sing Call Me Maybe or something.
Yeah.
And I was,
this one,
I've seen it.
He does Blinding Lights by The Weeknd and a bunch of other songs, and he has the thing where it's I mentioned this last week.
Very creative.
Where he, like the girl studying, like
the lo-fi girl.
Lo-fi. It's that, but it's Donald Trump studying.
Yes.
Like that's a whole channel, Maestro Zico. So everyone should go listen to that. I don't think she owes anyone anything. I don't think Beyonce. On the other hand, I don't care because she courted this audience. Therefore, it's your own fault.
Like, so from here, if Beyonce could perform at like LA Pride weekend, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does LA invite her?
Yeah.
Or do they not? Like,
what they do is they memory hole anything she did that is against their value system so that they can justify once again courting her.
Or does New York then say, how could LA Pride invite that bigot Beyonce? We would never have such a
brother
person.
wars.
You know what
begin.
I mean? Like, it's just another thing that could be nothing, and it could just show another fracture in this already weak battle over ideology and what you are what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do.
Here's more of celebrities just lying because they can lie. Beyonce's Dubai concert, Dad says she united people despite backlash. So
Dad says she united people.
Well, Beyonce's concert in Dubai stirred outrage from some fans due to the country's anti-LGBTQ plus laws. Her pops looks at it differently, and then it says she united a really diverse crowd with her incredible performance. No, they weren't diverse.
She's texting her your dad rules right now, being like, "Dad, shut up! You're making everything worse."
By your rules, they're not diverse. They don't hold your beliefs. Therefore, they're not diverse. They're not inclusive. They're not all those things you complain about.
He only means racially diverse.
They just lie. They don't care about any form. It's like I'm more upset by the gall of like, look, I made that joke about Britney Griner yesterday, and still was willing to be like, look, I was wrong. Like they made an Amy Coney Barrett comic, fine, but they just lie. They don't care because they know most people don't care anyways. I hate it.
And she could have set that multi-million-dollar new resort on fire, and her dad would have been like, "Wow, Beyonce did a really cool thing there. You don't understand it."
His daughter's always stood for inclusiveness and believes everyone was there there for love. No, they weren't. Because in that country, they do not believe in the same type of inclusion that you believe in. So you're lying.
How can you speak for them? That's the thing about globalism that gets me is it's still just a reiteration of Western imperialism, which they claim to hate.
Yeah.
It's also just in a different rainbow filter.
The only reason I know about this resort opening is because some fashion influencer I know is invited to it, right? So like, I don't think she's there for love. I think she's there for the Instagram clicks. Like, we don't know anything about the people that are there. I think they're there to seem fancy and have a good time.
I hate the lying, and I hate the ability to somehow, it is like a weird amorphous entity that they can just shift and it means whatever they want to on any given day. for all intents and purposes, what her dad is saying here is anti everything they actually stand for. But because he said it, it is now true because truth doesn't matter.
Also, would they have printed him if he was like, yeah, I think Beyonce made a mistake. I think that was a bad thing to do.
That would be funnier.
Like, shh, go
that
away.
would have been
It's
funnier.
the same thing as the introduction to the World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah.
It's paying lip service to inclusion and Western values of tolerance and acceptance, but the reality is far more ugly and boring.
Yeah. And it's the lying. It's the fact that you can bully everyone with your narrative when your narrative isn't concrete in any way, shape, or form. It just gets to become whatever the hell you want it to be at any given time. It's a cudgel and it's a weapon, and I hate it.
I think the white pill is that they're never going to conquer the world if they can't agree on things like this.
I mean,
I don't think they have to conquer it, though. They just have to corrupt enough of it. You know what I mean?
And that's the part I hate about it. It's like maybe it's the fact that when the more you see stuff like this, the more tenuous the world feels, and it's like, wow, we aren't really all as connected as we thought we were.
You've got a bug on your hat.
Do I?
He's been hanging out there for a minute. I didn't want to interrupt one of your
I didn't
your
see.
monologues.
You get him?
Other way.
Other way?
Yeah, there we
Got
go.
There you go.
Nice. Concuss the bug.
No.
Let's
yes.
go to Super
All right,
Chats.
let's do it. Go ahead.
Mr. X, I don't know if I can read that. I don't want to get banned. Biddy Beasley said, Jamie Lee Curtis in the plastic bin is a form of advertisement or a flaunt. Hilary Duff has done it too. Tom Hanks deleted tweets when he was called out. I didn't know what Hilary Duff did.
Now I'm sad.
I'm confused.
Based Hilary Duff? Let's,
Is she based?
She's a family person. Like she's
I don't know what
who
she
doesn't
did.
love the song So Yesterday.
Do you mean Clinton?
No.
Brett's walkout song. He leaves this job to join the WWE, and he walks out to
So Yesterday by Hilary Duff. Let's
What
go.
a great song.
Or
by
I'm
the
Coming
way.
Clean by Hilary Duff.
That was a great song too.
One of
How
those.
many of these songs do you know?
I know a couple,
Coming Clean is like the essential Hilary Duff hit.
They were bops.
I just know that one
was a
that was
bop.
in that movie where she kisses that football player, you know?
Probably played by Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah, I think it was.
Cadet Kelly or is that
There
a
you
No.
go.
Did she kiss a football player in that one? I don't know.
And they
Probably
say-
a Marine.
Well, she like it was her in Chad Michael Murray and Cinderella.
yes. And it's like something about the rain falling.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's I'm Coming Clean.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So I do know
How
it.
do I know this? Oh my god.
Because you are the best early 2000s middle school girl of all time.
I love it. You even watched Pretty Little Liars. Like, you check all the boxes. Chubbs' Farman said, have you heard of coffee brand coffee? Try it. It's good. # free the quartering.
All right. Well,
I have
thank
not
you.
tried it, but
You
I have
just-
heard of it.
I do
He
not
sends
drink.
us
I
some,
do
maybe
not
I'll
drink
try it.
coffee. I don't drink coffee.
Does he make coffee brand energy drinks?
That
You drink Monsters?
But then
Do
you'd
you
have to
drink
say
the-
energy drink brand energy drinks.
I would be.
I like coffee brand and coffee brand energy drinks. Do you drink Monsters? Do you drink the coffee flavored Monsters?
No. I will drink cold coffee, like a frappuccino, if it's like the only thing there.
Or like if you're getting it from like a
A
coffee
Java
shop.
Not even- no,
chip
'cause I'm
frap
not-
with
I'm
a
not-
bubble top full of whipped cream.
God.
and then we go to the mall.
No, just no. Like
And then I go to the mall and I listen to Hilary Duff and
only at a gas station would I get like one of the ones that's like prepackaged, and it wouldn't be my first choice. It's bitters. No, thank you.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, that's why they call me Blades Coughlin. LOL.
Blades Coughlin. Gaglin. Like I had such a hard time with that at first. I'm like, it looks like Coughlin to me.
Blades.
It doesn't look like
Wait,
Coughlin.
is this confirmation that potatoes is Seamus?
Wouldn't that be amazing if that was actually true? This whole time, Seamus is just a huge PCC stan.
He's been watching the whole time.
Like that would be the greatest story never told in human history. If Seamus was like, this is like what he listens to while he's doing Freedom Tunes work.
Or just all the time. He can
Yes.
never get enough.
This one is kind of backhanded. Bad App said, Brett gentrified Tim's house when he moved in.
Did I? I don't think I'm
The
not.
phenomenon that Hannah Claire was referring to.
I don't,
He was being rude.
He's saying that you like other men, which is not true. As far as I know, if you do, that's cool.
Carnell said, Hail pop culture crisis, the cure to a broken and damaged society. Sup, Hannah Claire. Just breathe, Brett. And hello, Mary.
What is with
There
this?
are multiple people at this point being like, Brett, calm down. Everything is okay.
Are you like texting over there like, I am not okay, someone please
Is
help?
he blinking in Morse code?
It's a mega gaslight to just come into somebody who's completely calm and rational and be like, dude, calm down. It's all gonna be fine.
Also,
calm down.
If you were too calm, they'd be like, come on, Brett, wake up. Come on, Brett, say something.
No, that's even worse. If I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? They're like, hey Brett, wake up. It's fine. Like they're just gaslighting for the sake of gaslighting.
It's Friday, dude.
And they love that. They love to tell me what day of the week it isn't and tell me what day they think it is.
But one day they'll say exactly what weekday it is, and you'll say it wrong.
And I'll get it wrong.
Because you won't believe them.
They are the crisis actors who cried wolf or cried Friday.
That's a good
Eric Bosniode said PCC is goated. Alex Jones was right. Christ is king.
Hey, that's good company.
Okay.
That's good company to be in one super chat.
That's your mantra when you wake up in the morning.
We're getting there.
Bryce E said, check out the video where Trump sings Space Force.
I'm gonna have to listen to that now.
I've never seen this.
It sounds amazing.
Is that copyright content?
Probably copyrighted content.
Darn.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So just like with Beyonce, you really can't upset certain people on the internet. They get very, very mad when you go against their narrative. So people on the web right now, those
on the
people
web.
On the web, I love
the
that
netizens.
word. Yeah, the netizens.
Whenever they say that, I'm like, who are the netizens?
They're the people that absolutely hate J.K. Rowling, who will prowl any and every tweet from any and every celebrity, are very mad at Mark Hamill because he indirectly, kind of, sort of, maybe, kind of, a little bit supported J.K. Rowling by liking a tweet.
His hamster was walking across his phone screen and accidentally stepped on the like button on J.K. Rowling's tweet.
The worst part about this is he used that excuse for doing this before,
yeah.
where he's like, it was an accident. I didn't mean to like her tweet. My phone, I was looking at something. I was on a slip and slide and I tripped.
Kind of crazy, because if you don't want to get caught liking things like Ted Cruz, then just don't like them.
Or Kyle Rittenhouse.
So there was this tweet from a TV personality that is transgender named India Willoughby that said, I'm more of a woman than J.K. Rowling will ever be. And J.K. Rowling decided to quote tweet that and say, citation needed.
That's actually fairly clever.
It's so funny.
That's fine.
Her Twitter fingers. And Mark Hamill liked that quote tweet. God forbid.
Do you think he ever
committed a heinous crime of liking a J.K. Rowling tweet?
Also, just own it, Mike. Come on.
No, he won't. He's a far leftist. Look. Is this one of those things where he does it and he knows right away? It's like before he's even done hitting the button, he knows that it's been archived and linked somewhere.
I can't imagine being one of these Twitter sleuths that is constantly checking Mark Hamill's likes.
It's their job.
Are you okay?
This is what journalism at these companies is now. They're not commentators. They write articles about stuff like this.
Get help, dude. And then I can't say it's not sweet to watch the downfall of one of their own, you know?
He's
if
absolutely...
you play by these rules and you hold other people to standards that you can't meet, then I think it serves you right to get flamed on Twitter for something so small as liking a tweet.
So here are some of the responses, and they are right out of the absolute psychopathy playbook that is Twitter, guilt shaming and people who love to do any type of
in the stands
concern trolling, if you will.
Not Mark Hamill liking transphobia. At least we have Patrick Stewart, who played Picard.
Yes.
Another one said, at Mark Hamill, why are you hitting on J.K. Rowling's transphobic hate crusade? # trans rights are human rights.
This was my favorite. It says, I don't know if you realized it, but that tweet you liked from J.K. Rowling is extremely transphobic. Endorsing that kind of bigoted rhetoric seems extremely out of pocket for you. So before my heart breaks, please tell me that was a misunderstanding or a mistake. So they're like,
celebrity having an opinion I disagree with.
They're like,
heartbroken.
I'm gonna give you a chance to take it back. Tell me
that's
it wasn't
such manipulative
true.
Language.
Tell me it wasn't true.
I don't know if you know this, but you just did a no on twitter.com on the Bird app, and I'm just here to teach you better. You're a kindergartner.
Yeah.
And here's your opportunity to walk on burning coals.
It's how they keep you in line.
To apologize.
It's how they keep you in line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like just Soviet psychological tactics here out in the open.
It says, for the love of God, Mark Hamill, please don't fall down the transphobe cesspit. Please say this is just some crap misunderstanding. All he did was like a tweet that said citation
He might not
needed.
have even known that the original tweet
was
saying
about,
I'm more of a woman was from a transgender person.
Yeah.
So maybe he just thought it was a very normal clapback.
It says, you know,
we
this
can't like anything by J.K. Rowling. She's dead to us.
Yes, you're not allowed to.
You can't even mention that Harry Potter exists anymore.
And I just
only if you talk about Dumbledore first.
These types of people are the saddest of, like, when I talk about celebrity worship, it's what Mary says about the dark side of celebrity worship, which is a weird type of I'm a nobody celebrity thought control. So it's like they know they will never actually attain any level of fame themselves. So they get some type of rise out of controlling celebrities with veiled threats. It's literally night letters. Knife to your door in the middle of the night saying, you know, you're just letting you know, don't want something like this to happen to you.
Also, like, what if he likes something worse? You know what I mean? I mean, I know for them, there's nothing worse than interacting with J.K. Rowling, but, like, what if he liked, like, a video of, like, someone kicking a puppy? Would they be this upset, or would they be like, that crazy Mark? He always likes the
Well,
weirdest
what if he was like, hey,
it's a
baby.
crazy sense of humor.
Yeah, you don't get it. It's
what a
art.
quirky guy.
It's art.
But what if he liked a thing that said babies shouldn't be brought into this world? They'd be like, you're right, Mark. That's fantastic.
Go off. He's such
King.
a warrior for women's rights.
For women's rights, because we all, like, I was talking to her earlier. There was like a thing from like I don't know if that was from the Women's March, and it was like a bunch of like pro-abortion signs that got progressively more crazy as the signs.
Thank you. Speaking of crazy.
Tell me that's your voice. Tell me that's your voice right now.
No, it's Carter.
Also solid. Also solid. What is this sound?
It's from a movie. So the signs got progressively more insane from left to right. On one side it says like abortion is health care, and then it gets to like don't have babies for climate change, and then like by the time you get to the right, it's like babies are bad for the environment. Why would you bring a kid into this world?
These people have such a distorted view of the world that things that happen on Twitter.com have actual gravity in real life. In real life, no one pays attention to these things. Getting chided on Twitter by these people has such a tone of a veiled threat.
It's always a veiled threat. Well, what I've realized is that what Twitter is, it's every discussion you've ever had good-naturedly at a kitchen table, only with none of the good-natured aspect and a lot of disingenuous
But Mark
intent.
Hamill is part of that problem.
Yes,
he
he
makes it
absolutely is.
into this hyper-politicized, antagonistic environment where you can get publicly shamed for liking a tweet from a problematic person. He's part of the problem, which makes me rejoice at just imagining him squirm when he becomes the target of the same game that he plays.
But don't worry, Mary. He worked to get back in their good graces.
Yes.
With this tweet from today, from 13 hours ago, in reference to all of the violence that's going on right now. So he got his gun control tweet in just in time to get himself back in their good graces. My favorite is the first response under that says, "That's a quiet month in Philly." But, you know, he's got his marching orders. He's got his things that he knows he needs to say to stay on their good side.
It'd be even funnier if this is an account run by interns.
Yeah.
And one of the interns is like pro J.K. Rowling and the other ones aren't.
Yeah.
And it's like an internal fight.
I can't imagine like yesterday, like even like somebody tagged me in the thing because I complained about this tidal wave comic thing, and the actual comic book company corrected me and said, look, we did make comics about these people, and they were mildly respectful. That was fine. But it's like when you start trying to control like mainstream celebrities, Mark Hamill has reached more people than any of these accounts on Twitter. Oh, they've got Ukraine in the bio, and oh my God. So it's got Ukraine here. I have to show this one on screen. Ukraine, is that the male pregnant emoji right there.
Oh no!
I think that's
this
the male.
Has got to be
a joke,
parody account, right?
It's got.
I mean, they're an Esquire.
Hilaria Bryden. So
yeah, that's definitely.
Oh well, that's but they're not. That's not the person who made the tweet. That's the person under that made the tweet. Aaron Reed made the tweet, but Hilaria Bryden Esquire said this because they caught it. So they're just catching the insanity. I do love it though. Oh. But imagine like it's one thing if you're a celebrity and you're like, look, I have to prostrate myself between these people to these people every once in a while, but they do it to themselves. It's like you said, they don't miss any opportunity to barb the people that they want to barb. So then can they really complain when it comes back on them?
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing people are still talking about this right now. One person said, because people are harassing Mark Hamill for liking a tweet by J.K. Rowling, who's been deemed guilty of wrongthink, I want to say that I once knew a woman who worked for a Hollywood studio and met every celebrity you can imagine. And the two kindest were Mark Hamill and Henry Winkler. So, like,
everyone
it doesn't
seems to
matter
love
what
Henry Winkler.
Opinions you put on Twitter. It doesn't reflect the type of person you are.
Somebody said the other day, like, there was a comment, because we were talking about Avatar 2, and we were talking about Wednesday, and we were talking about how we seem to judge a lot of success these days based on how much meme potential, how many memes we see about a show. And their point was that, look, Morbius had tons of memes about it. Doesn't mean anyone saw the movie because nobody went to see the movie. It doesn't necessarily correlate to
Well, those memes
views.
were mocking it in a deriding way.
So it is good to know that everyone still loves Henry Winkler as that's the Fonz. He was also the parent of the two kids in the show Royal Pains. Yeah,
I wonder
remember
if
that?
Royal Pains is classic.
I wonder if these
Classic.
people know that they are playing into the self-aggrandizing of J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
If you are she who may not be named,
She's literally
then
she who must not be named.
it kind of makes you feel cool because you're against the rules.
Voldemort.
Well, it's been going on for so long at this point. I mean, we're like, when did she first tweet? Whatever.
2018 or something
I
like
think
that.
it was even earlier than
while.
that. I think it's been so long. And like, I'm sure at first she groveled, right? She wants to get back in the good graces, but there was no coming back for her. And now she's willing to like fund women's clinics and do all kinds of things. Like, she is beyond your approach. Like, she's going to post anything and you're going to accuse her of transphobia. If you know what they're going to hit you with, it stops hurting, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like Mark Hamill should have to grovel like, oh, I didn't mean to. I fell down a flight of stairs and my face was cushioned by my phone, but I had to like this tweet. Like, whatever it is,
That's
so stupid.
I love the fanfic of him like panicking. He's like biting his nails. He's like, look, I was doing a lightsaber test screening for the next Star Wars thing that I'm going to appear in. They've got me booked to do mocap. They're gonna de-age me for the next Star Wars thing. And I was setting my phone down. It was unlocked. I tripped over a model of the
Of something you
He's
like.
Yes.
No.
forget.
I was eating mac and cheese, and one of the noodles dropped onto my phone screen as I was scrolling through Twitter, and
Crazy.
it landed right on the like button. What am I supposed to do?
A bird flew in my window and stole my phone and liked this tweet and then
with its
flew
wing.
away.
I was typing out a mean
Sir,
tweet
calm
to
down.
Ron DeSantis, and I got so angry I spit on my phone. And have you ever
Then
seen?
I had to lick it.
I thought I was liking the other girl's tweet. I didn't realize I was liking J.K. Rowling.
I got Chick-fil-A sauce on my phone screen.
Like,
I had
have
to lick
you-
it off.
there's-
Wait, you were at Chick-fil-A. Get him, boys.
Have you ever
Here's the
seen
thing,
the
like-
memes of like where it's like it says like a guy's in the shower and like he gets out of the shower and like water from the shower gets on his phone and it starts going back. It likes a bunch of pictures on Instagram. It hits up all his ex-girlfriend with you up tweet like with you up messages, orders food, and then opens Pornhub.
He sends a DoorDash to his ex-girlfriend's house.
And like that's just from like getting out of the shower and water drips down. That's what he's literally
And then
has to say
it
happens
tweets
here.
Mary Turf Miss on his account.
Turf wars.
It's just like it's so stupid, and he's dumb for responding to it. I'm just gonna say, like, did he actually say anything back? Being like, I didn't mean to like it. Like, if he actually,
the first time this happened, he did. He said it was an accident.
but you don't know if he did
Not
this
the
time.
second time, yeah. Like I love it. The first time he's like, look, I follow another guy named R.K. Rowling. It's a completely different person, but R.J. They're kind of the same. It was a mistake, guys. I didn't mean to. But, they're the ones who have, for better or worse, put themselves at the mercy of these people because it's part of their business model. The funniest part about this is, like, to me, is that the people that they have prostrated themselves before are a tiny subsect of the people. These aren't the people with actual money that buy your products. These are just weirdos on Twitter. They don't spend money on this. And that's also, I don't know if we got into that. That's the other threat. They're like, if you don't unlike this and apologize, I'm not going to support the next Star Wars thing you're in.
You know what happened with like Cassandra Fairbanks McDonald yesterday, right?
Yeah.
She's the editor-in-chief of Timcast News, and she has a bunch of monkeys. Yeah. And she put up a picture of her monkey playing in flower. It was like King Arthur brand flowers.
I saw that,
She didn't tag them. She's just like, oh, look away for 1 second. And it's adorable baby monkey, whatever. Yeah. And King Arthur Flower, whatever, like retweets it and is like, oh, this takes the cake, like some silly pun. And then one person who has like no followers is like, how dare you? This person is the worst. And then they delete the tweet. Like, of course. It's not political. It's a monkey. And like, no one cares. Like, it's so crazy to me that like, that's the kind of reaction, just being like, I don't know if you saw, but you interacted with someone who should not exist.
Yes.
Like it's hysteria. And you got this bread company and I guess Mark Hamill to be like, oh no, my life is at stake. Like, it's so stupid.
It will blow over in less than a few weeks. Like, here's the thing though. I guess you could take, it's going to blow over, right? But there will always be articles written. They're like, Mark Hamill, who once liked a tweet from J.K. Rowling, it follows you forever because these people are losers.
I wonder if he is going to talk about this.
He probably will.
I hope he does not. Come on, dude. Have some self-esteem.
He will not. Is there a couple super chats there?
Let me see. Yes.
I think there's a couple there.
Bobcat said, do you get more done by sunrise than most people do all day? Do you have a reputation for knowing things to maintain? Drink Krugler coffee, the preferred coffee of men who do things.
I don't get more done than I get just the right amount done that the average person gets done in a day.
Questions.
Also, your day is like into before sunrise.
Yes.
Like, you're a night owl.
Yes.
So theoretically you do, but it's the stuff you're getting done from the previous
coffee
day.
At night. Yeah.
Well, and they're implying like you're getting ahead for the day, whereas Brett is like closing out.
Yeah, I get up at a normal time, but I stay up a little bit later than a normal time, but I stay up. Like, I get up at about 9, but I stay up very late.
Guitarist Gabe said, friendly reminder, did you guys check out Windigoon and or Lore Lodge?
I've got it.
A great guest.
I've got them both written down. We're doing a lot of I'm doing a lot of outreach. We're both doing a lot of outreach, looking for people to have on. So if you have suggestions, guys, please bring those in. I want to make Fridays a lot of fun and have people on that are not just people necessarily in our space, but anyone that wants to come and have a conversation about dorky celebrities who bend the knee to weirdos on Twitter. I feel like everyone can laugh at that.
Yesh said, if you're not French pressing, that's depressing.
That's up there with no Hannah Claire and someone's going down the stairs.
Clever.
Like, those are very scary.
Accidentally.
I
have Horace. I'm not going to read that. Dumbledore said, TERFs are the best feminists. It's like picking the least debilitating form of cancer. That is all.
Did we ever figure out where that is all started from?
Wait, what started
that is all? When we would put that is all.
I still don't know who started that.
Yeah.
Now everyone says it.
Yep.
It's stuck. Zachariah McGovern said, this show is really cool. Good job, Mary. I met this guy at the March for Life. Thank you. Kikaman?
You're back. Hello, sir.
Said, what was this guy here on Friday?
He was here on Friday.
He was with a vengeance.
He single-handedly kept the show in business on Friday.
He's a fan of
John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. He said, show me, show you, Kikaman, Hail the Soy, and
JDA.
John Del Rose.
Kikaman, what's up, dude? Like, that's awesome. Like, it's like our show on Fridays continuing. It's like our show's continuing.
He just will say stuff like that all night long.
It was awesome.
I think he's a soy sauce bottle. I'm not totally sure.
Okay. Alejandro Reyes said, I love the crew, dude with the hat, small ghost, and of course the main reason we are here, Hannah Claire.
Well, you know.
Thanks, I paid you to say that, didn't I?
It's what we
the Hannah Claire lobbyists are here.
We we bend the knee. We're just as conformist as everyone else. You know, we go where the money takes us, and if that means that Hannah Claire gets the money, then that's where we.
They actually don't want me here at all. They're like, but we have to.
Gladiator said, sketch therapy in your chat is a known detractor.
Okay.
And then he said something else about sketch therapy that I should not repeat.
Yes. And then there's one more from Bobcat.
I don't know why he's talking about that. Bobcat said, Wendigoon is cool, but I have to vote for Lore Lodge if only to expand the coffee wars.
Hey, I'm happy to
Coffee wars.
You know?
The coffee wars.
Yeah, you should have people on who make their own products and then you can sample them on air. That'd be cool.
Okay. R. Fontanez said, yo, Hannah Claire is here. Swifty Army straight bussin', no cap, for real, for real. Hollywood's so woke. Take that, you incels. Whoop, whoop.
That was like all of them. Like,
Damn.
look, and the funny thing is Take That, You Incels is actually one that I like. There's a YouTuber that I love named Zach, and that was like his thing. Like, anytime some loser on, like, from comics Twitter would say something when they're just trying to get back at, like, regular people, like, they're like, it's like they write comics, but they seem to hate comics fans. So it's like, take that, you incels. And that kind of just became something that I would say a lot because it felt like it fit in a lot of places here. But yeah, take that, you incels.
Rhaegar Targaryen said, that is all is the way that military officers co-sign their orders. That is all. Source, I'm a veteran.
Yeah, I think of it as being somebody like making an announcement while yelling. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like coming off a PA system.
It's very aggressive. Potatoes for Seamus said, Hannah Claire, don't you miss the days of loud keyboard clacks?
What an era in our office life when Seamus, for whatever reason, if anyone wants
Loudest
to see,
typer ever.
If anyone wants to see evidence of this, they should go watch old Cast Castle episodes. For whatever reason, he used to sit at like the other half of my L-shaped desk. Like that's the only place he could. And he brought in his own keyboard, which I swear was just like
the Laudo
plastic.
keyboard 4000.
I'm gonna level with you. I do actually miss having Seamus around. He is a lot of fun. I can't say I miss the keyboard specifically.
It wasn't even a bit. Like, he just did that all
that's
day.
just who he is. Again,
trust me, guys, that wasn't staged.
He brought his own keyboard. That's his preferred keyboard. I don't know. It's like, I guess when you type like on your phone, you have the like sound on to hear the keys. Like, that's him in real life.
I don't.
I don't
think about it, but some people prefer to have the sound.
Yeah. I'm a loud typer. Not here because this keyboard's fairly deeper
very.
keys.
You Seamus, typing face off. Let's go.
I'm probably
have
not
a
loud.
type off.
I'm not
You could
louder.
never beat Seamus at loud typing.
I'm not louder than Seamus because no one's ever commented on me before, so I'm guessing he's louder.
Yeah, but if you could go into a store, pick out the perfect loud keyboard, maybe you would be. You just don't know.
Like, Seamus, where did you find your obscenely loud keyboard?
He'll never tell you. It's important to him.
Like, sorry.
Okay. Kikamon said sketch therapy. John Della Rose is a great guy with on-time books. You Pop Culture Crisis got new members. What did you contribute? Low sodium soy. What is going on in the chat right
we
now?
are having this conversation and they're having their own conversation.
I do not want to watch like a bunch of fighting
Okay.
like in the chat.
I do,
guys.
but you have to make
I
it
want
into-
everyone to get
We'll
along.
look into the matter at a later point.
I want everyone
only
to
if
get
you
along.
make it into a meme war and then you produce it for them to review.
Thank you for informing us. We are moving on.
Yes. All right, guys. We are going to move on. We are going to hold off on the rest. We're going to come back. This is actually, I think, my favorite story for the day for several reasons because it's absolutely ridiculous. It says, so Pamela Anderson, she claims that Tim Allen flashed his penis at her while on set on the very first day of Home Improvement. That is a real thing.
She was what? Tool girl?
She is like. Have you ever
what
seen?
What exactly does this
so
mean?
She's like she was the eye candy. He had a television show about hardware in Home Improvement, and she was the eye candy on it with him and Al Borland.
I thought he was married. Why do we have eye candy?
Because he was married, but she was like there on the set. Like she would like display the tools, and she was. Part of the show, not his wife.
He wasn't just like he didn't own a hardware store. He like did a TV show about,
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And this was a few years after she was on the Playboy cover, right?
Yes.
That she got this role.
So it says, on the first day of filming, I walked out of my dressing room and Tim was in the hallway in his robe. He opened his robe and flashed me quickly, completely naked underneath. She alleged this in her memoir, Love Pamela, according to an excerpt obtained by Variety. He said it was only fair because he had seen me naked. Now we're even. I laughed uncomfortably, she continued. So first things first, I want to show you the absolute glorious work that some intern over at the New York Post was to find this photograph of her looking weirdly uncomfortable with him.
Green lines are very off here.
Him leaning in just the right amount. She's got her arms in like this. Like
his mouth is open.
He looks, it's the perfect
and then
photo.
she's like pursing her lips. She's clasping her hands together uncomfortably.
Dude.
Good work, New York Post. Thank you.
Crisis Party!
Who asked who to do this? Were you and Brett, or were you and Carter like high on sugar?
He made the crisis. I make everything other than the crisis party sound effect.
It's the end that's freaking me out.
Yes.
Maybe because I can't hear it that well.
It's a movie sound. It's from the movie.
It's difficult
from
to
the
tell.
First Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie when April O'Neil wakes up to see Splinter staring at her. So if you saw a giant rat staring at you, you'd be scared too.
So here's what Tim Allen told Variety after they published the excerpt.
Yes.
He said, "No, it never happened. I would never do such a thing." And now Pamela Anderson has expanded on what was told from her memoir because he denied the allegation and said, "This true story is just one of many surreal and uncomfortable situations I learned to navigate.
Yes.
My book goes into how it made me feel over the course of my life, and in this case, my career. I have no ill will toward Tim, but like the rest, it should never have happened." And she adds, "It was the first of many bizarre encounters where people felt they knew me enough to make absolute fools out of themselves.
There was this tweet.
I ended up making my career choice based on quality of life."
There was a tweet from Adrienne Curry. It says, "I never believe anyone by default, but when you share something that's over 20 years old after the fact that ties to financial gain, i.e. book sales,
Right. I mean, she's got this documentary that's coming out on Netflix, and then at the same time putting out this memoir called Love, Pamela. And it's, in a way, sort of a response to the Hulu miniseries that came out about her and Tommy Lee last year.
Yeah.
So I understand her motivations for wanting to tell her side of things, but at the same time, how can you say, I have no ill will towards this person when you knew that publicizing this old situation would put them under fire
this
today?
unprovable situation that neither side can prove,
Impossible to
only
prove
you
or
will benefit
disprove.
from. Except for now, I guess maybe his response should be he writes his own memoir, and his is like, actually, it was her who flashed me. Neither side can prove that the other one happened.
No, but that's
might
the
as
thing,
well
like,
both say it.
If he was, for whatever reason, also writing a memoir and he didn't mention her, everyone would be like, oh my gosh, he left her out on purpose. He's not acknowledging. Like, there's no winning for him here, right?
It also,
like, saying it didn't happen, they're like, okay, you would say that if it did happen, though. And, like, I just don't really understand. Like, it's so he said, she said. It's sort of dumb to take anyone's side, right? Like, it's not.
The man trafficked cocaine in the 70s. Anything could happen.
Or, like, if she's saying, like, one time we were on set and he came out of his dressing room and his robe slipped and I saw his penis, like, that would be weird. I would be uncomfortable, but I don't think he did it to her on purpose. And has this been expanded into this thing where he's, like, trying to, you know what I mean? Like, how do we know what happened? And we never will, so.
What is even the point of publicizing it in the first place other than salacious gossip?
Right. And if this is, like, the most salacious thing, like, I mean, doesn't he have sort of like a right wing or like conservative following? So it's like to make a golden boy that, like, you know, more conservative people like seem like a creep. Like it's
people
obviously
need more reasons to
manipulative,
hate
right?
Tim Allen.
I'm looking at this New York Post article, and underneath there's some that's like, yeah, she details like how she tried to stab her babysitter. Like, there's obviously a lot of crazy things happening in this memoir. I don't know that, like, trying to dox Tim Allen or as, like,
I'm so tired of every single celebrity having a memoir, having a documentary, having a biopic. It's so narcissistic. Like, as if anyone is all that curious about you.
It's just to make a little bit more money before they're completely irrelevant, yeah?
Just milking the public of what's, like, just you're wringing the sponge of every last cent that you can possibly get out of it.
I have no ill will now that I've slandered you in a way that I can't prove and you can't prove, but there's certainly going to be plenty of headlines.
Disingenuous.
Like, sure. It goes back to that whole thing. Hey, man, it was the 90s. Do I believe that it probably happened?
Maybe.
Probably. Do I believe that he meant ill towards her? No, it's even by her definition of what it is.
Celebrities being weirdos like they usually are.
It's like when they talk about John Barrowman when he was like, I used to flash people all the time when I was on Doctor Who and all these other shows, and he's like, well, it's because I'm gay. And like, what? What? Like,
or like there was a story about Chris Pratt on the set of Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And like the characters are supposed to open the door and he in character is standing there naked. And so he's supposed to wear like whatever protective underwear they do to like,
yeah,
you know, and he tells the story where like, I guess Amy Poehler was doing it. She did so many takes, but like wasn't really having like the correct reaction. So then he decided on his own to take off the underwear. And like when she opened the door, the one that made the cut is like
choice.
When she actually sees him and has this like very like, wait, what's happening reaction.
Yep.
And like the censors were like, never do that again, right? Like I understand what you're doing and we're going to use the take, but like
they're rewarding the behavior anyway.
But like with this one, it's like, we were in a hallway where no one could prove that we were or weren't, and this thing happened that he's obviously going to deny.
Yeah,
you know,
this is giving me the same vibes as the girl we were talking about earlier, who is complaining, recording herself in the gym doing hip thrusts. By the way, complaining about a guy who is standing across the room, looking at himself getting recorded in her phone screen, and she is complaining about how hard it is to be a woman at the gym and getting sexualized by all these men, while at the same time she runs an OnlyFans account. Like, Pamela Anderson was on the cover of Playboy when she was, what, like 21?
Well, that was his logic. It was like, look, I've seen you naked.
His alleged logic.
His alleged logic is, look, I've seen you naked.
You gotta love the emphasis that she was 23 when this happened as well. Like, you're still an adult. Would
it be worse if she was 22?
I don't understand the emphasis they're putting on that either.
See, I just don't think, like, do we actually believe this happened?
I believe it happened.
I don't think it's important if it happened or didn't happen. It's been so long.
Yeah.
If she says she feels no ill will, then why is it important enough to you to bring it up?
Because she makes more money this way.
It's also funny because I was thinking back, I think something similar happened with Hugh Jackman on the set of X-Men or X-Men 2, where like somebody stole his clothes during a set and he had to like run off set like basically naked or something. Like actors do this stuff all the time because you grow a certain connection or bond on a set because you work long hours together. The environment is very not nonchalant, but it's very far outside the realm of what would be considered normal professionalism because it's just not a normal work environment. So stuff like this is bound to happen, and it's not like Hollywood breeds the kindest of cultures anyways. So it's like, do I expect stuff like this to happen, especially in the 90s when our culture was different and people saw the world a different way? You know, there was never going to be a social media where he had to worry where 20 years from now this story would come out.
I want to raise the question, and I don't know if it has an answer definitively. If you have sold an image of you nude to the world publicly, have you forgone the right to certain privacy?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think posing naked in a magazine is something I would never do, but also like that doesn't mean she asked to see other people's genitalia, right? She's okay with you seeing hers, but
she's making this memoir and this documentary saying like, all of these people have mistreated me in the industry because they just view me as a sex symbol, when she made herself a sex symbol.
Sure, like but that would be like being like, yeah, and then some guy broke into her house and stalked her. Like, but she kind of deserves it because she posed as a sex symbol. Like, the logic doesn't follow for me. I do think that like she has to be cognitive of what kind of attention she draws to herself because she made a certain professional choices, which probably opened the door for her to be on this TV show in the first place.
It clearly led to this, but it doesn't mean it was the right thing to do to lead to this. Like,
right.
Based on her explanation of what happened, that it played a role in this, but I don't think that she should be forced to. She did the pictorial and gave people the option to look at it.
Yeah.
She did not say, here, look at my photos. Like, I don't think that's
like, she's not really flashing the world because you're opting to look at the magazine, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
But I don't feel bad for her either.
I don't feel bad for her either.
Flashing to being on the cover of a magazine. Yeah. What I'm saying is, like, she's making this documentary and this memoir with the selling point that she's telling her side of the story finally because she's been victimized by the entertainment industry.
By Tim the Toolman Taylor.
She's been objectified and sexualized so unfairly when it was her who opted into being in that role.
She seems to be more upset about the sex tape being leaked than about the Playboy stuff, obviously. She doesn't care as much about the Playboy stuff. That was on her terms. She made her choices. She's on Broadway now, too, I believe. So
she can't be stopped, Pamela.
She can't be stopped, that Pamela. To me, it's frankly, it's a little bit annoying that she gets to now slander another dude's reputation with something that's entirely impossible to prove for the sake of book sales.
Well, again,
my I have less.
I think she's also picking a specific target with Tim Allen.
Because he's a conservative, and he's an easy punching bag.
And he represented like a family man at this time. Yeah. Like, she is trying to be like, there are dark things, whatever. Whereas I'm sure lots of people did lots of terrible things to her because she posed, to your point, in Playboy, right? Yeah. Like, but why did we pick Tim Allen specifically for this pre-release publicity?
It's kind of like Madonna. Like when you diss on like Christianity, it's like, I was being bold and standing up for myself by pushing back on Christianity. She's like, I was being bold and pushing back against the system. Pushing back on Tim Allen. No, like maybe 20 years ago, it would have been bold and brave to push back on Tim Allen when he had clout in the industry in the late 90s. Right? But is it really that bold to push?
She also had
to push back on the guy whose biggest thing recently was Last Man Standing, which had to fight to survive because he got kicked off one network because they hate conservatives so much, and now he had his successful franchise relaunch of the Santa Claus TV show.
Also, like, if you have no ill will to this guy, like, why is this your go-to story?
Like, you don't, like, you've been in Playboy, you did Baywatch, and you don't have a Hasselhoff story you could lead with? I bet you she's got some doozies.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I bet she has a ton. Why did we specifically pick Tim Allen? And it's pretty obvious.
Guys, that reminds me. If you're looking for something amazing to go watch, Brett recommends. Okay. We need a song. I need it for the soundboard. There is a masterpiece, and I believe it is on YouTube still to this day. You can, in fact, watch Baywatch Nights, where you can watch Baywatch meets the X-Files.
What?
Yes. Where
is it real?
David Hasselhoff fights the paranormal with Angie Harmon from Rizzoli and Isles. It is incredible. It was one of the most, it was so like we were talking earlier, it was so producer cocaine fever dream. Like, some dude was just zonked out of his brain, zooted to all hell, watching an episode of the X-Files, like, right as it got big. And they're like, we got David Hasselhoff, David Duchovny. It's like the same thing. They got the same name. Maybe we could do that. So somebody should go, if you haven't seen Baywatch Nights, everyone should go watch Baywatch Nights. I'm just saying.
Required watching from Brett.
It's required watching. Everyone should see it.
Let's go to Superchats.
Let's do it.
Matt's S-Box Emporium said mechanical boards are, I'm sorry. How do I read this?
Say it again.
Okay. Can you read this? I don't know what this says.
It's a mystery super chat.
Okay. Let's move on. Alejandro Reyes said,
elite.
Sorry.
It's gamer speak.
Okay. You need to actually send words. Yeah. Alejandro Reyes said, sorry, Mary, for calling you a ghost. Not sorry for hat guy, though.
Look, I also saw them earlier trashing me because I wear like Minnesota hats, and Minnesota sports teams are traditionally not very lucky and suffer.
That shows how much of a loyal person you are.
But it is like, I'm not a huge, like, I'm loyal to Minnesota, I guess, because I'm from Minnesota. I loved baseball and hockey, but in general, football was never really my thing. This is a 70, like, I like this hat because it's very rare. Like, it's a 74 Vikings hat that I got for next to. I was
gonna say, like, for you, being Ghost Girl may not be fun because it's by the way you look, but hat guy may not bother you because you actually do collect hats.
Yes, but it's kind of the thing we were talking about earlier. Like, it's a very Midwest thing. But I got it on sale. Like, this is a rare hat, but I got it for cheap on eBay. It was like
it's like a prize. Like,
yeah,
if you're a hat collector, it's like it's a find.
The buy it now price was just right, and I got it before all the bids went up. Yeah.
I love it.
If you won your AirPods from a claw machine, are you going to brag about that?
Yes.
As well?
Yes, I would. Absolutely.
100%.
Speaking of which, there's a great skit on. It's not on any of the WWE websites, but it was back when WWF New York was a thing. They had their own like restaurant in Times Square. Yes, back in the 90s and the 2000s.
The 90s were a wild time.
It was a wild time, guys. And there's this amazing skit where it's like a kid doing a claw machine, and Kane, the 7-foot-tall wrestler with the mask, is walking by, and the kid's like really mad because he couldn't win, and he goes, and Kane goes, because he doesn't really talk. He goes over and he starts trying to do it, and he tries it a few times and he can't get it. So he just punches a hole through it and takes everything and gives it to the kid. I love the 90s. I think that might have been 99. But it was a great time to be alive.
Golden age.
It was a golden age.
So many people are arguing right now.
Guys,
I don't even know what's going on.
I'm not paying attention to the arguing.
I love that there is a sub argument going on. Like that's how tight knit this community is.
I am not going to read any of the super chats that have to do with your argument. I'm sorry.
It may cost us later, but it's just not the point of the show.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Tacti Platy said outreach to this small-time YouTuber called Tim Pool.
Yeah,
we'll keep him in consideration.
I also saw a great one earlier that was somebody said when he posted a thing where it said the people who made Velma should be criminally charged on Twitter. I'm seeing so much on Twitter now that I forced myself on the platform.
It's crazy what's going on.
And Tacti Platy said you should go on Pop Culture Crisis and talk about it.
Well, thanks, Tacti Platy.
Thank you, Tacti Platy.
Perturbed Alpaca said, so long as the money guns keep firing, let the chat drama rage.
That is true.
Look, guys, no, I understand. I don't.
Keep giving us money to argue with each other. Yes.
Well, look, if they're going to have to pay to super chat and you're not going to read the super chats, done deal for everyone. They're getting their
as long as we know what's going on.
I'm taking no sides in this matter. I just don't want to be part of
Brett's
drama.
releasing a public statement now.
I don't want to be part of the drama.
He's like, please stop fighting.
It gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I feel like that's the reaction you're having.
Now they're like, Brett, breathe.
It's all his. Yeah, now they're
guys. Do you see what your arguing is doing to Brett?
Prophecy. Yeah, think about me,
Look
guys.
at what you're doing.
I get that you guys are fighting, but think about me. Don't you guys care about me?
Yeah.
Let me gaslight you quick.
Kikimon said, make sure to like the video.
Yes, please like this video.
Do. Nathan Koss said, Tim Allen smuggled coke in the 80s, so he's cool in my book.
Was it the 80s
I
or
love
the late
that we
70s?
were just trashing Britney Griner yesterday for the vape pens with THC, and today we're like, Tim Allen.
But he made something of himself afterwards.
Those mugshots were badass.
Dude, that mustache should be in the Hall of Fame.
I haven't seen it, actually. Potatoes for Seamus said, Brettward, meet me at Waffle House for a type-off.
Yes.
So it's between loud eating, loud typing. That just sounds like some special kind of hell. Loud eating is one of my biggest pet peeves.
It just will end with throwing chairs.
And then she'll catch them.
I just like that, we'd have a type-off. What?
I don't know. Isaac Martinez said, are you guys going to talk about the Oscar nominations this week? I can't wait to hear your thoughts and reactions.
We have an article. We have a talking point. I wanted to spare Hannah Claire. Ooh, no
I don't
Hannah Claire we spare.
Award shows.
We spared Hannah Claire having to talk about that stuff today. But
and there's
it's
more
on my
to
tabs.
talk about in the future as well.
Wait, it's on my tabs though.
That's not the same thing as the other
okay.
one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Kikamon said, good for you, Mary, stepping out for the March for Life. May the soy rise. The Iron Age. Woo.
That's related
I'm
to the
so
comic
confused.
stuff.
This was me subbing for you. First off, I can't read any names. The thing kept scrolling back and it'd be like, Brett, I don't know where anything goes. And then they're like, Iron Age, this other reference over here. I'm like, okay.
There's a lot going on this.
I like that people are so committed to the things they're interested in, you know?
It was very cool to see when because you were gone for March for Life, everyone's like, dude, that's awesome. Thank you for standing up for what you believe in. People 100% were supportive of that. And that's awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
Alejandro Reyes said, Brett, thank you for doing this awful work of reviewing terrible culture. Under what circumstances would you do a memoir?
Well, here's the thing.
Would you expose me?
I was like,
You'd be like,
his memoir is actually all about you.
Mary is my coworker who abused me and threw chairs at me.
And people are like, I could see it.
She would type loudly and
she
would still hear the ringing.
She would drink loudly out of a straw, and it would just drive me nuts.
No, I will never apologize for my straws.
You have kind of an interesting life story though, and so I feel like there is a circumstance where your memoir could be cool. But I don't think you would do it.
I did so many drugs. I don't even remember half
write
of it.
one.
I couldn't even write. Look, here's the thing.
But
I am never going to be vain enough to think that my life is so interesting that people want to read about it.
But you have interesting things to say. A lot of people do. I just think you would do it because you have an ultimate purpose. You're trying to connect with people, trying to talk to people about an issue. This is obviously her trying to just get a last payday.
Yeah.
And that's different.
Someone said if a chick smacks or scrapes her teeth on her fork, the date is immediately over. Bye-bye. That wasn't a super chat, but I just thought.
Imagine.
I also like someone's just tuning in to let us know.
Dude,
but thanks
honestly,
for telling us.
Go off on your high standards for yourself, right? Holy crap! At a certain point,
except no mistakes, no flaws.
It's just at a certain point, you just accept. By the time you're in your late 30s, you're like, does she have a pulse? She's got a pulse, guys. We're gonna see if
I
this
gotta
is
have
gonna
a
work.
baby Declan.
Gotta meet Declan.
I gotta coach junior hockey.
Yes. Hey, I
X.
wonder about that. Like my dad coached. Like he didn't coach all my years.
If you don't coach your children's hockey team, I will personally be devastated.
You should be a crazy hocky parent.
It's my dad. My dad coached not all my years, but did coach some of my years. But like a lot of that was like, you learn to like. Did I love getting up at 4 a.m. for hockey practice, or did I learn to love to get up at 4 a.m.
Also,
for
like if
hockey
you're doing it with your dad, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe that was nice to get like quality time with him. I love dads who coach their kids' sports. I think that's such a trad American thing to do. It's super cool.
I loved hockey. Like if there's one thing that I do miss, it's the smell of a hockey arena and the temperature at like 6 a.m.
I'm telling you, this memoir is writing itself, Brett.
Very
amazing.
poetic.
Thank you.
Caper2X said, Hannah Claire, because he is a well-known conservative. I think you're
Yeah,
talking
they're
about
talking
Tim
about
Allen,
Tim
yeah.
Allen.
Yeah. I got there eventually, but I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Clef the Misfit said Pamela Anderson wouldn't dare try to sling arrows at David Hasselhoff like she did Tim Allen because no one hassles the Hoff.
The Hoff. Don't you dare hassle him.
I
I think I
love
have
that.
a picture of David Hasselhoff on my
He's
phone.
also
do.
where
Someone said
Wait,
that to
why
me.
though?
No, I mentioned on the vlog once that I don't get fan mail, which was not me complaining. I was just like, oh no, it's definitely not for me, whatever this box is. And then suddenly was like, don't worry, I want to send you something. And I still have this picture of David Hasselhoff. It's like his headshot sitting on my desk.
You
Which
never suggested that you wanted anything related to David Hasselhoff.
where's the one?
also that's someone's default gift. I don't want you to feel left out. Have a picture of David Hasselhoff.
Is it Germany that he's really big in? He's big in like one specific country, like because he was a musician. Hasselhoff was also a musician, like a fairly talented musician, if I remember correctly.
Nothing he can't do.
He's somewhere. Let's read a couple more.
Is he on Broadway with Pam?
Dude, that's the team up we didn't know we needed.
I think the Zoomers would recognize him from the SpongeBob
How did he
movie.
not get like a reality show? Like how
Pam
did
Anderson?
like no
I'm sure he was
Hasselhoff?
offered. He was
Because like didn't like the lady who sang never mind, I can't remember the name of the song. Like there's a lady who sang like it was like a one-hit wonder song in the 90s, and they gave her like a reality TV show to the point where it's like it was like a song that I thought only I remembered, and now I can't remember it off the top of my head. But they'll give anyone a reality show. If MILF Manor is a thing, why isn't there
These days.
Housing with Hoff? Like
Well, because it's not degenerate enough.
it could
to
be.
shown.
It could be him interviewing new Baywatch candidates.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
That'd be funny.
Let's read.
Tyler Hogue said, hello, guys. Thanks for the entertainment while I'm at work. Fast and Furious 3 is best as a car guy. Just had to get that out. Love you all. # no homo. Thanks for clarifying. It's no
I
homo.
haven't heard that in so long. Like
He's bringing it back from
it's
the
been
tens.
it's been like it's
because
like,
nowadays it's # all homo.
like it's
Am I
literally
right?
been so long since I've heard someone have to clarify. So all right, guys, we're moving on. We got a couple of
Hey,
things.
it's good to know
Yeah.
though that one of the movies is good. Like if you're into cars.
If you're into cars.
The whole time I've been wondering, like, do car people like this? Or they? It's like when doctors watch medical shows and they're like, we'd
This is so
never do that. Yeah.
unrealistic. Yeah.
Also, I saw somebody say, "Bring back Kit." Yes, everyone loves Knight Rider. I'm a bigger fan of Baywatch Nights, but Knight Rider. When I was young, I had we didn't have what's the car that little kids can drive? The little mini one.
Oh yeah.
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 What's it
But
call?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it's called. It's like plastic.
Yeah.
You
Hot
do with your
Wheels?
feet.
Hot? Is it? Is it
No.
Hot Wheels?
Yeah.
It's like you can drive and you sit
Yeah.
in.
It's. You sit
Oh
in.
no.
They're like you have your.
But I
it's like,
had one. I had like the Barbie Jeep one.
Guys,
like
chat.
the Flintstone kind where it's
Yeah,
your feet. You know.
but it's electric. Like a little moves.
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
Oh, there's a ton of those.
like what's
yeah.
it, what's
Bougie
it,
ones.
what's it called? Yeah.
They're just
See,
cars.
I didn't have Power Wheels, right? So I didn't have that. I had a little mini one with pedals that my dad and my grandpa spray painted black and turned into a mini version of Kit from Knight Rider.
That's so cute.
Yes.
I'm gonna die.
Now that I think about it, my childhood ruled.
Yeah.
Like here's the
Sounds
thing,
like it.
your life you can make plenty of mistakes even with a great childhood.
Right.
So
Please get married and have kids so I can watch you replicate this sweet Midwestern childhood for your own children.
it was amazing. All right, guys, we are moving on. So Tim actually talked about this earlier, but we want to talk about it from the Britney Spears angle as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Damar Hamlin inspired
I was wondering if Brittany would come up when you guys said this to me.
Somehow.
I want to talk about it mainly because of the voice it uses for the video, but Damar Hamlin.
we have to show the video.
Yes, Damar Hamlin has brought up some conspiracy theories after literally the worst footage ever appeared for him to end up back at the Bills game, right?
If you're unaware, he suffered cardiac arrest earlier
on
this
field.
month and has a miraculous recovery. It's almost suspicious.
Look, I don't know where I stand on why they would fake something like this, but let's watch the initial video here that they play of the footage.
Looks like Damar Hamlin is in the building. Yes, if they show him in the stadium in any capacity,
even that language is like a setup
off of this place. Damar Hamlin just showed up, and it looks like his mom and his little brother is there. Oh, we love to see it. Stay tuned. It's the Bengals, Bills, coming up on CBS. Good job.
So he's in the red?
It just feels so
in the most noticeable color, you mean?
Draw his eye without showing anything.
With his hood up?
Yeah. To the facility this week, Sean McDermott telling us it was so good to have him around. He told us it's baby steps right now.
Big person we can't see.
Yeah.
Completely up to Hamlin how involved he
just
wants
a
to
dark
be
silhouette.
With his hood up.
Person close to the family said despite being out of the hospital, he's thoroughly. But
they could have literally picked anyone in the crowd and been like, Damar's here.
Here's the other angle.
Damar stood up, right?
Woo!
This is it right here.
The person who's indoors.
This looked more like this to me.
Okay, the guy.
I am getting so much noise. Stimulation right now.
They're showing him in the back of his head.
Like
the guy who has a scarf around his face and his hood up indoors? Question mark.
Sus.
Yeah.
Wait, but I thought we wanted to show the conspiratorial TikTok.
We're the of him or
Money
of
guns,
Britney?
please.
Of both of them. Damar Hamlin has one.
Can you send me that?
I did. Yeah.
Did I miss that one?
Hold on. This person is wearing a scarf and hood indoors.
Yes, okay.
And is being shot from over here. You mean that we couldn't been like, hey, Damar, look at the camera?
Well, also the family was all shown very close. Like they showed very clear.
Also,
you could see their
his family
faces.
looked like they were walking on the field, but he's in this box behind glass. Like,
yeah.
I don't
also,
know.
did the Buffalo Bills ever say like, yeah, that was Damar? Or is it just like, oh, the news media thinks it maybe is, and they can later be like,
necessarily believe that he's not alive. I believe that like maybe it's too good of a story to not try.
Well, I think they're trying to say he's healthier than he is.
Right
Yeah.
I don't think he died, but I think he's probably not in great shape.
Also,
and then he's like making this heart symbol.
Look, this person has
that
a mask
also kind
on.
of looks like he's doing the pyramid symbol.
They are just saying this random.
Why is he just flailing his arms around?
Saying like, keep it going.
I mean, it could easily be maybe he's got some type of
Okay,
like.
wait. Let me test this out. This is a heart, and if you like turn it this way, it looks more like
Is it? Could it be so much as like maybe he's got facial scarring from being intubated or something like that?
No, Brett. This is a fake person.
Like it's like I'm trying to think like
maybe his PR rep is thinking like you need to make a public appearance so everyone knows you're okay.
Or it's like,
but if you're not up to it, we'll get someone to stand in for you.
It's like COVID related, so they're like, well, you just got out of the hospital, so you have to be careful and wear a mask.
So he has to wear a mask, like right? Like, is he at risk?
I don't buy any of that.
Like,
just to be fair, but I'm happy that we're floating the possibilities. Like, I think this is super sketchy. Also, like, if it's a PR set where he got a box, that box magically had a camera inside, and they weren't like, hey, could you look at me for a second? Like, they're terrible PR people.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
But the family,
suspicious.
they got clear shots of the family. I think it's Jesse Ventura. I'm just asking questions.
This
like
is crazy.
Like we need you to be a hype man, but just pretend that you're there.
But this is the thing. This isn't the only conspiracy
Like
theory.
that nurse who got vaccinated on TV and no one can find her anymore.
So there are conspiracies that Britney Spears had a body double at her own wedding held at her home.
I sent this to Brett on Instagram as soon as I saw it because I could not stop thinking about it. Like
the voice.
We're gonna play this for you guys just so you get the picture.
The voice is so good. All right, let's go.
Is off about Britney's wedding. Sam's clips are high quality. Why is she in her living room?
This is a great
so
question.
many shots from behind. That's not Britney. Why is the quality so bad? You can't see her face half the time. High quality close-ups of Sam, but none of Britney. Does Britney have a beard? Something is off about Britney's wedding.
That's a totally legit
It's a
observation.
very legit question.
We know Britney loves a low-quality selfie inside her home.
Yes.
But why?
At the wedding.
So here's some of the comments. One said, Britney would wear a short dress and never have it at home. She loves Hawaii so much. I don't know what's going on, but we're being lied to. One person said that her manicure changed from a red to a French manicure in the middle of the footage.
I love the internet.
They said they said none of those guests were her actual friends, and why would she have it at her house that she's been stuck inside of forever?
And then
definitely the dress is not her style. She probably has no idea she was getting married that day. Poor Britney.
And then the ex-husband who just shows up and like almost ruins everything because he shows up and
her sons weren't gonna go or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's this thing where 50% of those comments I'm like, that dress isn't her style. Like, how do you actually
That's
know?
a little
right?
bit of a
but like
reach,
the idea
but
that
you're no close-ups, like
no close-ups, and like
the veil's always
But some people
there.
were saying maybe she's insecure about how she looks as she's been aging.
The husband is just too good looking. He's literally too handsome.
She's like embarrassed. I don't know. I don't know what to make of
also,
it.
like, if you pay a lot of money for a wedding video, right? Like, presumably
you want to be in it.
Both of their faces.
Maybe it was just Sam Asghari hiring people to film him and not her.
He's like, I really
he needs this for his modeling portfolio.
Then wouldn't he want to show Britney to be like, I mean, I guess he did enough to convince them he married Britney Spears, but like, it doesn't make any sense.
People are asking where is their marriage certificate, because that's supposed to be publicly available and they can't find it.
Nothing is real. All the world is a stage.
The getting at home thing, the only counter argument I can see to that one is, and I don't think this is what would go through Britney Spears' mind, but if it's at home, it's a controlled location. Probably they have a better idea of how they can secure it and vet guests and stuff, right?
But then her ex-husband just ran onto the property, so
and
there's not.
That's why they handled him. That's why they handled him so viciously.
Britney Spears, as we have said before, unfortunately shows not great judgment. So I'm sure she wasn't concerned about the security.
He didn't only run onto the property. He went inside the house and started rummaging through her jewelry and stuff on video, on Instagram Live. Like this actually happened, and he was like around and he was going around claiming like, I'm her real husband, like
well, I think their parents forced them to get divorced or whatever.
I was her first love, whatever. One person replied to that marriage certificate question, and they said it's a confidential marriage license. Gets even weirder. It means one party doesn't have to be present for the wedding to take place. Look it up in the LA courthouse.
Is that a thing? Like, so confidential marriage license?
Where one party doesn't have to be present for it?
Dude,
I don't know.
Stalkers everywhere rejoice.
Wait. Yeah, that's true. But does that mean that, like, if you are a high-profile celebrity, because California does have weird rules that protects, like, famous people. So, like, if you're a high-profile celebrity and you're going to get married, but, like, to get a marriage license in most states, both parties have to be present and file for it. But you're trying to not be seen together so you can still get a marriage license, but not, like, tip off the paparazzi. Like, is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
So you can have the wedding and not have to worry about
like
people showing up.
Yeah, because I remember like when Chris Pratt had his baby, like they figured out that his wife had gone to labor because they recognized his car at the hospital. Like it can get weird.
By the way, I decided because of this topic to close the poll that I had going. 78% of people agree demonic Holly weird. It's not just LARPers. 21% say it could be LARPing art nerds. Total of 794 votes. Thank you very much, everyone, for voting.
It's a very serious poll.
If you have
I wanted a third option that said both. But then Brett said that meant people didn't have to commit.
Tim allowed an abstain on the Crowder poll last night. We're asking the hard questions here at Pop Culture Crisis. Guys, like this video, please. Now that we're getting close to the end here, we got super chats to go here. There was one more thing that really bothered me that I do want to talk about before we go. This one, so for Oscar nominations, this isn't what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but for Oscar nominations, Top Gun Maverick nominated for Best Picture. Tom Cruise not nominated for Best Actor.
I mean, I don't know.
I think that other
because some people were mad that Marvel got nominations for Best Actor and Actresses and for costuming, for scores, but never Best Picture.
Seriously,
which I think is justified. But
I think there's like
I think it's better to be nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I've heard there's like a hierarchy, right? Like there are within the industry, like awards you really want, and Best Picture is a bigger deal than
especially because he was like doing this. He was like part of the production of it.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't just hired to act in it.
Yeah. I wanted that other guy who's sick, who plays Iceman in the first movie.
Oh, the one who passed away.
Yeah. I mean, like, he did a great job in this movie. And his scene was so emotional.
Oh, you mean Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, okay, he's not dead.
He's not?
No,
okay.
he's still alive.
But he's very sick, and I thought, like, the way he was incorporated was really strong. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if he can't get Best Actor because he didn't do enough screen time or whatever, but, like, I never understand.
I mean, he
how
wasn't
they
in the
pick-
movie for very much.
It was
but
easy
it was
to
a very
make it feel
heartfelt.
like a cheesy cameo, and they avoided that.
Yeah, they did a very good job.
I thought
The
it was really
voice work-
strong.
The voice work that they did to make him to bring his voice back was really, really good.
Yeah, I feel like this is this evidence that they knew they had to acknowledge Top Gun Maverick, but they don't really want to, right?
Yeah.
And you can't, though, because it was so disruptive to the industry. I mean, it was like the biggest movie.
They're like commenting now. Val Kilmer's alive. Yes, we know. Well,
Wow.
But the actor,
Brett misled me.
Yeah, no, I did
But
not.
he is very
No,
sick.
the actor, the other one is the one that passed away, but not in real life. He passed away in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
I really resent that Turning Red was nominated for Best Animated.
Seriously.
Yeah, because it was bad. It's not good at all.
Is that how you determine things? If it gets nominated for an Oscar, then don't watch it.
Yeah.
I actually do that sometimes. Like, there are certain things that I'm like, if I know you won certain awards, like, I can just tell I'm not going to care about it.
Yeah.
Shimmy Shelley says, "Oh my God, she thought Val died. Sorry, Val. Did anybody watch the Val Kilmer?
Val doesn't care what I think. I'm
Did
just going to put
anybody
it on
watch
the table.
the Val Kilmer documentary on Amazon Prime? There's a documentary that I never watched called Val, based on his life. I do need to watch that at some point.
Made by him or?
It's with his permission because they have interviews with him in his current with his voice problems and everything.
Way of Water got a nomination for Best Picture. Wakanda Forever got Angela Bassett a Best Supporting Actress nomination.
If Way of Water does not win Best CGI or Best Animated, whatever, it's a rigged game.
After that,
it's already
Best
rigged.
visual effects.
I just want you to know it is definitely 100% rigged. But I
Yes.
hope they rig it in a way that you like it.
Well, that's what I want, right? Just like with pageants,
Just lie to
and
me.
just like with the Miss America, Miss USA, Miss World. I'm like, some money laundering, sure, fine, I don't care. Like, just lie to me.
You want it to be corrupt in a way that at least you don't
that
hate.
benefits me.
Yeah, I get
Yes, yeah.
I think it's ridiculous that Wakanda Forever got a Best Costume Design nomination.
I was
After
fine
that
with the-
mosquito costume, they had Riri Williams.
Yeah, but that was
create.
that wasn't really a costume. That was like the CGI. Like a
You've upset
CGI,
the stink
like
bug.
when you think of the costumes, you think of
going
like
wild.
the tribal wear that they're all wearing and stuff like that. That's what I think of when I think of that. Also, like when we were reading that article earlier about the actor from The Chosen, I love the
Jonathan
costumes. I love all of the wardrobe that they're wearing in just those few photos.
From The Chosen?
Yeah, like just I
haven't
liked
watched
it.
The Chosen yet, but a lot of people recommend it.
Yeah, I liked the wardrobe that they were wearing in those stills.
I
So,
watched The Gilded Age, I think it's called, and
Yeah.
I think it's on Amazon. Like, costuming there is amazing.
You
But
know
those
that
are-
like you get hired to do that. The people who do the costuming for those shows just love it. They're like, can't wait to dive into
must
it.
be
But then
and
there
stuff
are
like that.
others like Bridgerton where it's just awful.
Well, it's bad because they don't honor like the historical accuracy.
Well, yeah, in any way.
in any way.
Yeah, and then it comes across in the costuming, but
Yeah.
it's like weak. Whereas like this one uses historical accuracy to make everything stronger. I haven't finished it. I've just watched a couple episodes.
Literally pay to win, and Brett's like, it might not be rigged. Look, I understand that it's all stupid
Brett is
anyways,
sweet and a believer.
but I want Tom Cruise to win. I'm allowed
Stay
to.
optimistic, Brett. We love that about you.
Do you think like the fact that his project, like if this wins Best Picture, do you think that's enough for Tom, or do you think Tom?
Yeah,
would
well,
have
yeah, I'm sure it's
been,
and just don't forget, I'm not against criticizing him. He did do the lame returning of his Emmys because of
he doesn't
diversity.
see his child, all kinds of things. are
Like,
wrong.
I don't know anything about that, but that's
yeah, he doesn't have a relationship with Siri, the one he had with Katie Holmes,
So,
and he's a Scientologist.
which is a cult.
as expected.
like as expected, Brett's ambivalent on the Scientology.
Everybody has flaws, and our Scientologist apologist will not answer these.
I'm a child abandoning apologist here too. A little. I'm just kidding. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know that he didn't have a relationship with the.
I think I heard something about
Like
that.
I'm more focused
Nothing
on what he's
surprises me
doing
with these
for
people
me.
anymore.
Okay, but also like no, I don't look at Tom Cruise as like your personal idol, right? Like he worked really hard to have Top Gun Maverick be a success, and I think probably at various points didn't produce it or do whatever to make sure it was good. And I respect that. I think that's nice to the fans and everything that like. I didn't say that Tom Cruise is a saint and we shall be like him. Just in this instant, I respect what he did.
Is he like? Is the idea here that because Scientology is now hated by so many people, like, do they have less power because people are so openly willing to criticize it?
They just have an immense amount of power over a very, very, very small amount of people.
But they're selective about what people they bring in.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Let's go to Superchats.
Let's do it.
Bad App said, I love drama. I don't need TLC if I got PCC chat. Oh, no. I don't want the PCC chat to turn into all
guys.
drama.
I kind of do.
Guys,
I
no.
want there
to be like weird fighting that you guys don't know about.
One thing.
I'm sure it happens all the time.
It's like a turf war.
That like I like to. I always point out, like, whenever people are like, I'm like, yeah, but if you had to choose between our chat and the IRL chat, you'd take our chat, right? Like,
hopefully.
Yeah, like, look, guys, keep it clean. Like, I don't like the fighting. I want this show. Like, the point of this show is that we just have fun. We joke about these dorks in Hollywood. We talk about, like, I rant about Baywatch nights and random things that I like, and Mary rants about the things that she likes. Like, this is not supposed to be a time where a thing where people are fighting about stuff. I want people to get along, please.
Matt's S-Box Emporium said the peanut galley is disappointed in you, Mary. Was this about my Princess Bride take from yesterday? Or?
Yeah, they were not super happy with the fact that Mary, like,
What are we talking about here?
Clef
the Misfit said, Brett, fun fact, Kane the wrestler, aka Glenn Jacobs, is currently the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
Yep. He has been
Interesting lore.
He has been writing libertarian articles since the 90s. Like, he was a registered libertarian in the 90s. And the best part is, like, he just recently, like, he got in trouble, like, right before he came back for, like, a recent WWE appearance, like, right as Roe v. Wade was being overturned. He's like, we're saving babies. And then a bunch of the women on WWE were like, and we took that personally. Like, how dare you save babies? Like, they got all
weird
pissed.
stance to take.
Weird.
Yeah, like, they got very mad at him for that. Like, yeah.
Eye of Horus said, Tim trafficking coke, by the way, that's Tim Allen.
Yes.
Is cooler than Griner's vape pen.
Yeah, if we're
a better vibe.
I suppose if we're supposed to pick vibes, like, I'll take 80s Coke over vape pens.
Sure. Chubbs' Farman said, Feds in chat instigating insurrection of PCC.
We want no insurrection here, guys. No insurrection.
I would say I wasn't here for the Britney Griner thing, but you guys should all Google Mark Fogel. He's a teacher who's being detained in Russia. He got arrested for possession of medical marijuana.
Okay.
So,
I.C. Wells said, Hannah Claire's kind of a smoke show, so she should totally be in the next Fast and Furious movie.
Would you want to be?
I think they've done filming. I think I've missed my opportunity.
So the question is,
the next one after that, because you know there will be one.
Fast, like Fast 11, Fast, one Fast, one Furious, and then equals out to an 11. Would you be like a Letty character and be like a car, be a driver, or do you just get to be like a twerking girl next to a car person?
I absolutely
cameo?
would never do the second one. So if those are the only options, I guess I'm Letty, but not strong there either.
Fair enough.
Which one? The fourth one or the fifth one that I watched the other day? Like, it's like supposed to be more high tech, and so they're like all in their little computer things being like ready, set, go. Except on the side it's like random sort of shots of like half naked girls, because instead of having them like dancing around because it's like they're helping a gang or something.
I love those movies so much. It's like, I love that they don't need to make any sense, and that's
like,
what
of course whoever is programming this thing to prove that you can traffic judge would be like, but we can't have a street race unless we have some shot.
Shimmy Shelley's got it. Hannah Claire will be the flag girl, so you'll be the one who goes, gah!
I can tell you I probably won't.
Let's go.
I'm coming for Diesel's roles or nothing.
You can be a journalist who writes an article about a band of car thieves.
Oh my gosh! If I make it into this long, guys, this is like wearing on me. So it's not an easy task.
More faster, more furious.
When they gender swap Vin Diesel, it'll be me.
Okay, then that's the question. Who would be gender swapped Vin Diesel? Viola Davis?
I'm sorry, I just said I would be gender swapped.
Oh, you want to be gender swapped Vin Diesel? Okay,
yes,
then it's gender and race swapped.
He's like,
well, at least
I'm like, that's the role I want. And Brett's like, no, but who would really do it?
You're the majority of the way through it, right?
She's through 5.
So
yeah,
she's halfway through.
If we don't count 10 because it's not out yet,
we're not counting 10 because
and we're not counting whatever Rizzoli and Holmes and Hobbs and
Shaw. You don't have to watch Hobbs and Shaw, even though I think you'd like that one more. Actually, that's a lie. I don't think you'd like that
hotly
one
debated
more.
Every time that she's about to start a new movie, they say you're gonna love this one. So.
No, it's always the one after that.
Okay,
like, yeah. No, it's not that you'll like 6, but you'll love 7.
Yeah.
Well, 7 is the big one because that's when Paul Walker passed away and they did the send off to him. So that's a big one.
Oh my gosh.
It's close to home.
I mean, the fact that they managed to, it is kind of an accomplishment that they managed to take such a tragedy and not only continue but thrive.
Yeah, and I remember when that happened. Like, I'm happy to join pop culture and sort of see like the movie that this, because I remember the like stories about the car crash. But yes, continue to pray for me, please.
Caper2X said, "Are you kidding? We enjoy being disappointed by Mary."
It's like a weird form of like sadomasochism at this point.
So.
Like they're really into it.
Hava Owen said, "Loud chewing kills me inside. It's terrible."
Like literally, they're like when Mary says something that doesn't disappoint them, they're like, ugh.
You're still on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to have worse opinions from now on.
And louder chewing, please no, for anyone.
I don't know. I watch mukbangs. I kind of like it.
There should be no, like, I can't do the loud chewing. Like, the ASMR.
How do you feel about slurping?
ASMR is how the devil gets inside you.
That's true, my evangelical friend. How do you feel about slurping? Like, no loud chewing, but lots of slurping.
Ew, don't do it. That wasn't an invitation.
I guess he
slurp.
doesn't mind it because he just did it to all of us.
They're both problematic.
Okay. High Voltage 75 said, "Hey, it's Hannah Claire 2 Electric Brimelo. Welcome back to Tuesday. What lengthy movie series can we get you to quote unquote enjoy after Fast and Furious?
Is there
as long as there's a wager? And we are all agreeing on the terms.
All of the Mission Impossible movies.
We're on to like what 35 Crisis Parties, and I will watch some long series. But like the Jason Bourne, like I would be legitimately curious to know which one is longer than Fast and the Furious.
You'd have to watch like all of the Halloween movies or all of the Friday the 13th movies.
That would be even more mind-numbing.
Yeah.
I won't do horror movies too.
I mean, I already committed to 10 Crisis Parties to watch all the Harry Potter movies. I haven't seen those before.
I like somebody's like mukbang. Like I never heard that term until recently either.
Yeah, it's like eating show in Korean or something.
People like do it on YouTube and like talk about
stuff. They like Trisha Paytas will buy the whole menu from Cheesecake Factory and eat it for YouTube.
Oh yeah, all the James Bond movies. I think there's now.
Oh, there are more than
yes. There's
Fast and Furious.
There's far more.
Okay, that would be a good one.
Is that with all of the Bonds ever?
Yes.
We gotta put.
I mean,
the other part is like
it would take. We'd have to give you like a year.
We'd
have to give you like a year.
And that's
to
the
watch
thing.
it.
Like, I don't know that it's fun if I watch them by myself and come on and be like, yes, good. That's why I try to like have some observation. So like we do need to have some kind of way that this is enjoyable for everyone else. Me just watching 40 James Bonds as they change through the ages may not be the thrill you think it is.
Have you seen all the James Bond movies?
I think I've seen. I might have missed one of the Lazenby movies, but in general, like
you've seen all of them.
I don't think I really cared about most of them, other than Brosnan, Craig, and Connery.
So you only watched
Connery's the classic,
Brosnan.
right?
No, I've watched ones before that, but when I was younger, like at home, like, but I wasn't really into it at the time.
Okay,
but like I know a lot of people love Timothy Dalton. I know a lot of people love Lazenby. Okay, not a lot.
I've only seen one with Connery in it, and then I saw one with Daniel Craig in theater once.
Yeah.
Alejandro Reyes said, "I legit have only seen David Hasselhoff from SpongeBob. The rest is from cultural osmosis. Am I a Zoomer?"
Yeah, like he is.
I think that's the only place
where
I've
I'm
seen
at.
him too. Yeah.
In
the picture that's on my desk.
And yes, the weird picture that is sitting on Hannah Claire's
Was there
desk.
only one?
I'll post a picture of it.
What was
I think I got a David Hasselhoff coloring book too.
Really?
What was the Lazenby movie?
I don't know.
What was somebody in the chat says there was only one Lazenby movie. What if somebody can tell me? I might have missed the Lazenby movie.
Okay. I don't know what Lazenby is.
But also yes, Hasselhoff kind of became like a cultural.
It's actually kind of hilarious that they were going to show David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob movie to a bunch of kids who had never seen him before, who were born like after the year 2000.
Yeah.
Because
So
that
their
just shows
parents would be
how,
like,
that shows how SpongeBob tried to appeal to all ages. Perturbed Alpaca said, "It is indeed Germany, Brett. They're supposed to have had a portrait of Hoff at a checkpoint on the Berlin Wall."
That's amazing.
Interesting.
That is amazing.
1,000 Foot Deep End said, "I saw a kit while driving a few months ago."
Yep. Okay. So you saw the car from, like, did it have Kit's voice? Like the.
It's a she, by the way.
Flag. Nope.
It's a
nope.
she.
Nope. Nope.
You misgendering a car? How dare you?
No, the super chatter.
It is like FLAG, the Foundation for Law and Government. That was the name of the organization from Knight Rider. Which does that just sound like the most horrible institution ever?
Yeah.
Like just sounds like the most like NGO.
Highly bureaucratic.
I love it.
Unusable Alpaca said, Brett, tell them to make a Lauren Boebert comic called Smoke Show or Keep It Moving.
Look, I will buy, like, you can make it. I'll buy all the copies if no one else buys them.
We're talking to you right now, Tidal Wave.
I'll frame one. I'll keep one, I'll read one and I'll take the rest and I'll give them out.
She ever comes by the office, you'll have her sign it.
My favorite part will be like, everyone will be like, I can point out, like, I definitely did not say a bunch of things about how I want to have a comic made about you to her in case I ever get to meet her. I don't know if I even met Marjorie Taylor Greene when she was here. Like, I was working.
Does she have a comic?
But she does not. I don't think she has a comic.
She deserves
it.
Oh my gosh, there's a bug attacking me. I'm sorry.
But
oh my gosh.
Now you got it. Like, but if Lauren Boebert came here, I might find a way to just take some time off work for a few hours to magically come downstairs and, sidle up.
Your charm.
Sidle up and just to say hello.
You have to be doing your skating when she pulls up, and then she'll be like, "Who's that guy?"
He's so cool.
That is the worst idea.
Okay,
I think it's the best.
Like
idea.
that is literally like, hello.
What would you do if
adults?
you found out Lauren Boebert has an unmarried sister who looks exactly like her? Like, is this the one?
Let's go.
But then you would just call her Lauren on accident.
Who cares? Let's go.
Cody 33C said, leave Britney alone. JK, great points. Keep up the great work, PCC.
We would like Britney Spears to be left alone as well. Like,
I think this is about Britney Griner, though, because there's two T's.
Oh, so they're talking about Griner. Okay, yeah. Look. The Britney girl, like I was yesterday. I was very delirious from being sick, and I started ranting.
He had a go off,
but it was mainly about the article lying about because the article made it out to seem like she was a person worth making a comic over, and I just don't believe that having a mediocre WNBA career for a mediocre league that's subsidized by a far more powerful league justifies giving you a comic book, and that it only gets made because you got arrested for bringing drugs into a country that doesn't allow drugs. And then some people took that as to me thinking like I cared about like the fact I'm like, are you anti-drug? I'm like, well, no, I think the drug laws are stupid too, but I also think that personal responsibility is a thing, and you just got, play stupid game, qualify you to get a comic book made about you. Certainly not one that frames you as some type of hero. You're not Rosa Parks.
Getting walked away in cuffs saying, I love my family.
All I'm going to say is you should look up Mark Fogel and wonder why he's not back either.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Bobcat said, so if Hannah Claire actually finishes Fast and Furious, how many parties for her to do James Bond next? Mary, write it down. Well, I haven't gotten a recommendation yet from you guys.
Yeah.
How many
it was
parties?
25 to do pop
I think it was actually 20.
No, it was 25, but you did surpass both, so it's fine. I would say 35, but I want some parameters on the James Bond thing. Because like we're saying, if there have been 5 different James Bonds.
How about everything past Brosnan?
Or I could watch one of each.
Or how about
like to
Sean
see
that's not a bad idea.
to see who's the best Bond, in my opinion, because people care about that. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like
first of each?
We should talk it out a little bit, but I'm thinking like I'd watch the first of each.
Yeah.
With the different Bonds. Because
everyone knows Sean Connery is the best.
Obviously.
I mean, I think I actually disagree. I think that a lot of people end up being partial to the one that they grew up with.
Okay.
I think.
I mean, I didn't grow up with any type of James Bond because
I think you'd technically be James.
You would be
like the
Daniel Craig would
era.
be the one you grew up with.
But
I think that a lot of people, I think that a certain, it's kind of like the idea that you have certain allowed takes in pop culture. You're not allowed to think that anyone other than Sean Connery is the best James Bond, because that is what the cultural takes is. You have to love this person.
I thought people hated Sean Connery because he's a misogynist.
Was there someone before him?
Nobody cares about that.
Is Sean Connery the OG, or was there a predating?
No, he's the original. To me, Shimmy Shelley might be right. I have GoldenEye bias. That is my favorite of the Bond films, but I also love Casino Royale. So I love part of Craig's work. I love all of Brosnan's work.
Did they announce who the new James Bond is?
We're still waiting to figure it out.
So that one might be kind of interesting too, because right now I'm up against this race against time, so I don't have to see the 10th Fast and Furious movie. We can add that one in if there's a new James Bond. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But is it fun for you guys that I just watch movies and then are like,
Right.
I watch them in abstraction and then come
It's
back
not
and I don't get
you're
it.
coming back. Like what I've realized is people like there's a certain amount of people that like watching us review Velma just because it tortures us in a way.
Oh, it's not like that. They just want us to report back because they don't want to have to watch it themselves.
And
From what I know, everyone wants to watch Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
I think, but I honestly like the Fast and Furious challenge because I took such a hard stance on sequels, which it's really honestly only driving home for me. But you know, it is the most classic example of something that's like, well, if it's making money, let's make 1,200 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lane sent us a thumbs up. Thank you. Alejandro Reyes said, it's really terrible that people throw money at you on here instead of Timcast. How inefficient. I'm very confused.
I'm confused.
Yeah, actually, they don't have money guns down there.
I was going to say, they're different shows.
They literally don't have money guns. So if you want to throw money anywhere, you have to throw it here because it actually gets thrown at the people. And how would they know that you want to support the show if not here rather than IRL?
Mm-hmm. I recently saw a comment that was like, new to pop culture crisis, what's with the flying money everywhere?
That's what's with the flying money.
It gives it this like Japanese game show vibe, you know?
Right.
I love it.
That's cool. Matt's S-Box Emporium said, your lack of knowledge of leet speak, Mary, hashtag sad.
Well, you weren't a gamer growing up.
I mean, I know it well enough to read it silently, but I can't speak it out loud.
I can't talk about a language. Like, I can read it, but I can't speak it. I can't write it.
Yeah, like that's the point of leet, though. Like, right? You can read it and understand it, and not speak it.
The other thing about it is like it's one of those things that became like Hollywood became painfully culturally late to. So you'd hear people in TV shows say "pwned" like 5 years.
They would show text conversations on TV. Actually,
5
years
like, after it was you got
LOL,
pwned,
OMG.
LOL. Like it's just like what 45-year-old like uncle who doesn't have any kids wrote this.
Yeah. Alejandro Reyes said, better Vin Diesel series, Riddick.
Yeah, well, what about the other masterpiece, which is Triple X? Like, come on.
You're saying words to me. I don't know what's happening.
Huh?
Yeah. Come on. Come on, guys.
For sure.
Somebody says, I'm just here for the hostage party. We're getting close to hostage party territory, ladies and gentlemen.
Evan King said Tom Cruise's last nomination was for Magnolia. His character needs a spin-off film.
It's really funny. I saw Magnolia and Vanilla Sky fairly recently. I think I saw Vanilla Sky last year, and I saw Magnolia either late last year or early this year. Tom Cruise is such a weirdly versatile actor who just found the niche he's comfortable with, and that's the action role stuff, and I love it. Like, I don't need him to do more than that. I don't need him to be more than that. Like, I love those Mission Impossible movies.
The tone of your voice is just, you're literally in love with him.
I love it. Well,
is everything to me.
Like, but it's like those, like the idea that you can do the other stuff, but you choose to do one that's both financially beneficial and seems to make the audience happy seems like a foreign concept in Hollywood now. Now it seems like they start with the big blockbuster stuff, and then they try to transition to the stuff that nobody cares about because it's vanity.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah,
like, we'll make money right now so that we can not make money but appeal to ourselves later.
Yeah.
Hava Owen said, slurping is close, but I can let it pass. And then he said, it's weird, though, because I like Matt Stoney vids.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
Yep.
Superhero movies are the best movies, said Hannah Claire. Fast 6 and 8 are great. 9 is an abomination.
But no opinion on 7?
People have such strong opinions.
But no opinion on 7? He literally skipped over 7.
Maybe it's not worth talking about.
That's impossible. It's literally the most important one to talk about.
I've never heard of such a hotly debated 10 series.
It's a big deal here. Like, I really do feel like when Tim started talking about it, it was like a joke, and it like spiraled off.
No, it started with us. Like,
yeah. Well, he would talk about it too. Like, he would talk about it on IRL.
No, we definitely started it first.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it because I don't get why there are so many.
Tom Porco Rosso forever says Tom is the wind beneath Brett's wings.
Love that.
Thank
It's the
you.
discourse around Fast and Furious that confuses me. Like, I get it if you like the franchise, but why are we debating about it? Caper2X said, Brett, save Hannah Claire before the bugs run away with her.
We got the bug off your...
They are a little more alive and well today than normal.
Yeah. Bad App said Splash Mountain is officially canceled and closed.
It's really funny how you're like...
I wonder who wrote it for the very last time.
You're racist for like you can't like anything from Disney. Eventually they're going to get rid of all of it because all of it was made by patriarchal, racist white men.
That's a great voice.
Thank you.
What character is this?
He does great impressions.
Hope you're developing this.
I have no idea.
Like earlier, you were doing Mickey Mouse.
I don't even remember why. Like it wasn't supposed to be Mickey Mouse, but it just became Mickey Mouse. Like
I don't remember either.
I don't remember.
Clef the Misfit said, "Nah, Brett. Lauren Boebert is old news. We got Anna Paulina Luna in Congress now."
Look, I stand for all of them. Myra Flores, Anna Paulina Luna.
Brett's like more hot women in Congress.
Look. I don't want to talk about their policies. I want a 1 to 10 rating scale and an F, marry, kill for all of the like.
Brett's just here to tell you who's good looking.
If there was one strong stance I would take for a pop culture crisis after dark uncensored segment, it would literally just be extremely
like ranking the
semi-misogynistic ranking of conservative women.
Let's do it. I think this is a great idea. But I think you have to do only women in Congress, and you have to rank at least one. Like you have to decide also which of the Democrats is the best looking too.
I can do that.
Brett's like, no problem. Bring the photos now.
You bring the photos, I'll bring the opinions. Let's go.
K42X said, "By the way, did you talk to Steven Crowder last night?"
Mary, did you?
Not really. Just, like met him, said hello. Yeah. He's a cool guy. He's nice.
I did not. Look, it's one of those things. Whenever there's somebody here, I'm usually finishing up work, like right before they go up. So I walk downstairs. First of all, everyone here makes fun of me because I walk loudly. That's number one.
Brett walks like he's still on ice from all the years of hockey.
They say he walks like he's so happy that he's upset.
Yes. Okay, so I walk very loudly. So whenever I walk downstairs, I'm already self-conscious. And it's one of those things you feel like you're being stared at. Like you look, and then have you ever seen those memes where it's like it's somebody walking into the kitchen, and it's like the whole family at a Thanksgiving dinner table, and they all look at the person and they're like, "Tell us about your YouTube channel." And it's like everyone in the family is looking at you. It feels like when you walk downstairs, literally everybody turns and looks at you. Like, I'm not going to just go...
Look who came out of their cave.
I'm not going to just go sidle up to any random person. It doesn't make any sense. There's certain people that I've talked to here, but most of the time I'm busy.
Yeah,
I've got stuff
it's pros and
going
cons
on.
because there's some cool people, and if you wanted to be down there, but then like I'm with you, sometimes it's like 6:30 and I'm still finishing up work. Like I'm not going to go down.
Yeah.
When they have to go up to the studio and stuff anyways.
Hey, person, I don't know. Let's talk random. Like, nah, it just doesn't make sense. Like, there were like a couple of times where I was on IRL, so it made more sense to at least talk to them prior. Mm-hmm. But in general, it's like, hey, person, I'm person that you don't know.
Hello.
Let's talk.
Lane said, "Reminder, Vanilla Ice got a reality show about flipping houses. That is all."
And don't forget, there was also Flava Flav. And the reality show about him where he was literally the prize of the show.
What was that called? Flavor of Love?
Flavor of Love. Look.
Amazing.
How many crisis parties till you watch all of a season of Flavor of Love?
I'll do it. I love reality TV.
What's the...
It would be Brett that would be punished by it.
What's the ancient Chinese... it's like, may you live in interesting times. We live in interesting times.
We do. Catman said, "Who has to pick up the money at the end of the show?"
We do. And before the PO box was shut down, we were gifted a
there's like a grabber tool, but unfortunately
it bends the money.
Yeah,
it bends the fake money.
Yeah, they're damaging the goods.
Money.
But we kept it anyway.
If we do a good job, like usually it's like Mary starts picking it up and I have to start exporting the video so we can get started on the post process, and then we both pick up the money. But Mary does a good portion of it while I start the editing process.
Yes. B Mafia 716 said, "Hinneclair question: What movie series have you watched?"
Is there any
of any kind
in my life? I watched the Harry Potter series.
Okay.
I've seen all of the. I don't know.
Have you seen Percy Jackson?
No.
Have you seen Twilight?
No.
Have you seen Pride and Prejudice?
Not a fun game. Pride and Prejudice isn't a series, though, is it?
Well, there were multiple versions of it.
Yeah, I've seen, I've watched like mini series of stuff, where it's like hour long, 5 or 6 hour long episodes. I can't think of any other series that I've been. I watched the Spy Kids movies.
Let's go, Robert Rodriguez.
That was a series. I was pretty dedicated to that.
Hey, that's Alexa Panavega, who left Hollywood to get married and have a family. So that's awesome.
A dream.
That's awesome.
I cannot think of another series, but I'll take some notes.
We should get Alexa Panavega to get together with Candace Cameron Bure and make a spy kid,
but home at a respectful hour.
Hallmark movie about spy kids.
A Christmas Hallmark Spy Kids movie.
Let's
Didn't
go.
the other one start dating like
Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
Not everybody can make
They're
great
married.
choices.
They have a kid together.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay.
The redheaded guy?
Apparently they did. Yeah, the
I don't know what his name
curly haired kid.
Yeah.
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 Well, good for him.
Shimi Shelley said Tom Cruise deserved an Oscar for Les Grossman.
Oh, also, somebody says, who is it here? Josh Chandler says, Alexa is a very attractive woman. Well, yes, she is.
Maybe she should run for Congress.
Oh,
Brett would love her.
Yeah. Tom, it's weird. Do you think Scientology works in some respects but doesn't work in others because they have to weigh the backlash that they get from time to time?
No, there are
Works in what ways?
There are
I think it helps them because it helped Danny Masterson get ahead for years.
They're a multi-million-dollar cult.
Yeah.
I think they're doing okay.
No, I'm saying the Hollywood, the industry. Does it affect Hollywood?
Yes.
So they're like.
There's a reason that they set up a celebrity center in Hollywood.
So also, are there more producers that are part of Scientology or more actors that are part of Scientology?
I'm sure they wouldn't tell you, and I'm sure I don't know. I think it's all pretty secretive, which makes it more sketchy.
Yeah.
Bad App says, I'm not going to read that. Clef the Misfit said, when are y'all going to watch Attack on Titan so you can recognize the unfathomable schism in quality between the content you cover and Japanese entertainment? Never. Alejandro Reyes said, what's a hostage party, a joke, or next level crisis party?
Well, we are very close to another crisis party, so we could be held hostage for longer
if something.
Let's start the outros.
We can start the outro. If anybody wants to hold us hostage, we can be held hostage, we're going to start the outro here.
It's up to y'all.
Look, all right, guys.
But don't do it.
Hannah Claire, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. It's nice to be back on a Tuesday.
Yes.
It's been a little bit.
Let everyone know where they can find you.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at hannahclaire.b. You can find me on Twitter at hcbrimolo. You can find my work on timcast.com. Click on the read tab when you log on. You should also follow Timcast News on Twitter. You'll see work from me and all of our other journalists there. It's the best way to get your news, in my opinion. And I'll be on IRL tonight if you would like to hear my voice more, which I'm sure you don't. Thank you, guys.
Yes, they do. And Yesh says, hostage party, let's go.
No.
I'm with Yesh on this. Look, if for no other reason than just to keep Hannah Claire here.
Oh, my gosh.
Just to keep Hannah here. Mary, would you let everyone know where they can find you?
You can find pictures of me on Instagram at Mary Archived, and you can send me hate on Twitter. That is also Mary Archived.
All right, guys. Before we go, please like this video, leave comments on this video, subscribe to this channel. We have been growing. It has been amazing to see. It's a lot of fun. We hit that roadblock for a while. Channel growth was slow. It's picked back up. Everyone seems to be highly engaged. They're liking the content. People have had, I'm enjoying more than anything kind of the disparate reactions we're getting for the reviews, which means that people are watching and they're actually paying attention to everything that's going on. There are now playlists for both Velma and The Last of Us where I will be posting all of the reviews every time they go up. So there's one for both. There's 2 episodes each of both Velma and The Last of Us. We will be torturing ourselves once again with another Velma review this week. If you guys would like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter now at Brett Dasovic for the show, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific if you'd like to join us live. If you would prefer to listen rather than watch, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Pandora, and Spotify. Two more super chats have just come in, Mary. Would you like to read them?
B Mafia 716 said, holding hostage, Hannah Claire recommend the original Jurassic Park. And Alejandro Reyes said, I love causing people grief when helping them. Is this enough? It is, yes.
It is. Have you seen any of the Jurassic Parks? You saw Jurassic World with us.
I went with you guys to theater to see
World.
something, and then when I was a kid, I saw half of one of them.
Dude, it's so sad too because if you haven't seen
don't you drag
the
this out,
original,
Brett.
well, it's already been completed. I'm just saying the original Jurassic Park. If you want to see masterclass in how to actually shoot stuff live action with minimal CGI, that's what you do. So again, guys, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. Now I feel like we have to hold out while the timer goes out for the crisis party.
We don't.
No?
Sir.
I mean, if you guys
wanted a 4th crisis party, then you would have done it earlier. We're ending the show now. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. Brett, hit the button. Hit the button.
We are not done yet. Okay. Where did I leave it? Okay. Social media. Twitter, at popculture_show. I am likely tagging them all the time now. Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Matt says I have. Oh wait, no, there's one more that said the silence in the last. The silence for the last is mint. I don't know if they're talking about us or if they're talking about the chat, guys. Now there's one. There's one more, Mary. I don't think you're gonna read that one, but
No.
I'm guessing you're not gonna read that one.
Brett, end the show.
Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Later.